Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the NBA Finals is set. The Indiana Pacers will be moving on to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder after their 125-108 win over the New York Knicks last night, eliminating New York in 6 games. Pacers Thunder 7-game series begins on Thursday. The Red Sox, after winning on Friday night, well, they lose yesterday to Atlanta. Not just lose, they got shut out. 5-0. The teams are back at it today. Garrett Crochet's on the mound after weeks of saying that Christian Campbell will be playing first base. Not in the lineup today, playing first base. And the New England Revolution in action last night against Montreal. And, well, they got the 3-0 win. It's a lot of goals in one game. Good for them. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-thru oil change. And Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 1 hour.
Get
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Well, it's some Joe show. We've seen it. Nobody wants to be there. It's a big bad show tonight. Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Joe show. There's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray. First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a Hooter.
Buddy, welcome in the 98.5 of the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Joining me today is one man who knows a little something about gambling, knows a little something about weight loss, knows a little something about things that I don't even want to talk about.
Okay.
His name is Dan Lifshatz. Hello, Dan. How are you?
What's going on, Joe?
Well, the things I don't want to talk about are like, like your real world stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
No, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
I do agree with that.
But sometimes it does give you the betting advantage, though. Like if there's a big event coming up, you're forecasting what's the best number for, I don't know, potential candidates, potential head coaching candidates, potential future leaders, whatever.
Funny enough, we were actually a couple people were talking about Bill Belichick and UNC yesterday and their actual projection for the season. So, yeah, that's what you got to do if you want to win it. If you actually want to win.
Well, I think the last time we were together, we touched on the schedule.
We did,
and how it's very favorable for him.
Yep.
I actually had a chance to catch the special the other night with Bill and Dabo. I was trying to see if there was anything to play on the radio.
Yeah,
there was nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Are you surprised by that?
A little bit,
really?
but hearing Bill talk football was refreshing, considering everything that's happened this summer. Hearing him talking about, I'm still curious about that. By the way. What type of offense is Bill Belichick going to run?
Dude, I have no idea. It's been very difficult to kind of get a read on what they're going to do offensively. I think that's kind of the biggest question surrounding the football side of UNC, not the actual, well, how are they going to do? What are they going to be? And all the off-field stuff, of course, is all sorts of fun to talk about. But football, on-field stuff, no one really knows what they're going to run offensively, which is, I think, pretty interesting.
Yeah, imagine if they run the Navy. The Navy
I'm not sure they're going to run that in the ACC. I don't think that would be successful. As much as I do think the ACC sucks.
Georgia Tech's had some success running something.
Formerly had some.
The old one.
I'm not sure they would get away.
Yeah,
with
they
that
had to get out. They had to get out of that one.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't think we were going to start with that today. That's not really where I wanted to start.
That's okay. Where do you want to start?
Well, I don't know. What do you? I have some thoughts, but I get to talk all week long about whatever I want to talk about. But these are the storylines. I'll set the table.
Okay.
There's the Stefon Diggs situation that I think everybody has an opinion on.
Do want to talk about that because I got some other info from an agent who happens to be connected to some players down there. So I thought that might be an interesting angle, who also works in the sports gambling world. He's like a pretty big connect for people to go through. I'm not going to give his name, obviously.
It's funny.
But
I think I know who you're talking about because said person may have done an interview this week that I quoted.
No.
Okay.
All right. Definitely not the same person.
Well,
definitely not the same person.
We'll bounce those off.
Yep.
The other stuff that's out there is it's now going to be the Pacers versus the Thunder. And first off, those are two teams that will not pay the tax, if you think about it. Like all these teams that generally are competing are all over the tax, over the aprons, whatever.
Yep.
Two non-tax paying teams in the final. I'm just curious if the ratings are going to be any good.
No. I'll answer that question for you. They're going to be absolutely terrible.
I do think, though, that there's probably not a superstar in the final. Like, I know SGA is great.
SGA is a superstar. He's just not the problem. He's not a household name. But he won the MVP. I mean, he's a superstar for sure. It's just name-wise recognition. Is he going to get people all excited? And I would argue probably not. But I don't know. I'll tell you this. Regardless, how were the ratings last year?
Were they? Well, I thought the Boston market carried. Dallas was good, right? I thought it was good.
No, they were
down. Ratings have been down in the NBA altogether.
Yeah.
And I think Christmas Day was supposed to be their day, and the NFL still dominated them, even though LeBron wanted to throw that little shot in there. Hey, it's still our day. Yeah. Good luck with that one now.
Yeah.
Going forward with that.
That's over.
Yeah, that should be an interesting matchup. I already know who I want in that one. I'll save it.
Did you see the series price?
Oh, I did.
Okay, yeah. I mean, again, it's not going to be a competitive series in my opinion. It's the worst. I'd argue this in terms of a basketball matchup. We can talk about it more, but in terms of a basketball matchup, I think it's the worst possible outcome for Indiana.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get into that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
The Red Sox play today. They send Garrett Crochet to the mound. They were supposed to play Christian Campbell at first base today. He is not playing first base. Abraham Toro is there, who's been hitting the ball pretty well, actually.
So the lineup is out?
Lineup's out. And Duran, Devers, Abreu, Toro, Meyer. Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah. Put him in. They put him at cleanup the other day.
So Campbell's sitting seventh and playing second?
Yep, with Wong and Rafaela.
Okay, well, Wong being in the lineup is brutal.
Well, is that a Crochet thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a black hole. He is arguably like one of the worst offensive catchers in baseball right now.
Literally looked it up the other day. I think he was out of like 60 qualifiers or something to that degree. He was 58th. So that's not good.
Yeah,
that is not good.
Yeah,
and I'm still waiting on a Bruins head coach. Jeff, remember they were puffing up, anybody who doesn't want to be the coach of the Boston Bruins, I'll call you and let you know. Yeah, how are those? The big names, huh? You ready for the Marco Sturm count again to come back?
That was your guy when we last talked about it, right? Marco Sturm?
I feel like Jay Leach interviewed. It was supposed to be Sturm, but it ended up being I almost said Sacco again. So I don't know when they're going to hear somebody new besides who we have already known.
Yep.
What else? Oh, Celtics stuff. There's a Giannis debate out there.
No.
No, I agree with you, but I think this is the only time we can ever talk about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just saying that
because I don't think you'll ever be able to comment on it again.
Being realistic, I don't think they have like a piece that would entice Milwaukee to make that deal right now. But that's my opinion. I think I think San Antonio is a legit landing spot for Giannis, right? They have multiple, kids that age, including the kid who just won the Rookie of the Year, Castle, who, could actually be exciting and enticing, and they can afford the Giannis contract. So, say probably not, but sure, we can talk about it.
We had Keith Smith on the other night. He's a big Spotrac guy, salary cap, and he thinks the team that he mentioned San Antonio as well. But he thinks the team to really watch is Brooklyn because they can take on salary They have 1 million picks. Like, they're just this team that's waiting for a star to be available that they can attain.
But do they have anything that would entice? Yeah, they don't have anything around them.
Money, and they can take on money. That's about it.
I don't. Why would Brooklyn do that?
Well, if the only thing I can think of is it's a full reset for the Bucks.
Yeah, but why would Brooklyn do it? Like, if you're Brooklyn, and
they get Giannis.
Yeah, and what else? I mean, Giannis ain't enough.
Who cares?
We know that by now.
They get Giannis, they'll figure it out.
I guess.
I think that is probably not ideal. By the way, those series prices have moved dramatically since last night.
Really?
I see $650 right now. Jeff Sherman just posted it out from Superbook. Just saw that like a minute ago. I haven't looked at the official sports.
Bookmaker right now minus 565. I think that's incredibly short. I agreed with the opener much more than the current price.
I like the Pacers, Dan. I do. I think that the league now.
Really?
Yeah, I think the league now is. I'm not saying they're going back to the big men matter. I'm not saying that.
Well, if big men matter and we're talking about the Indiana Pacers, I'd like to just take my victory lap on Miles Turner, who all the Celtics fans told me for years was terrible and useless and not valuable and et cetera. And now all of a sudden he's in the NBA Finals and was a huge part of their rotation. So
is that another? What did we call it last time? The victory shots.
The victory shots. Yeah. Not quite as strong. No, I'm just saying.
I thought about that last night. They brought out Pascal Siakam. MVP, which I think Halliburton might have thought he was the guy.
Did you see the video?
Yeah.
This is a good one. I mean, I think everyone and their mother was kind of surprised about that. I knew some people who did very well on that. I did not. I didn't have anything on it, but
Siakam's I might say he might be one of the most underrated players in the league.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's a quality big. He's a 4. He can play in this league. He's won a championship. Granted, I think Kawhi had a lot to do with that, and some others.
Yeah, but he was a good 2 in that championship run. I mean, he was a big part of that run.
But him and Turner, they hold it down. And I think last series when the Celtics lost, I think Karl Anthony Towns was the reason why they lost this series. Because of the bigs. I think the Celtics lost the series to the Knicks because Karl Anthony Towns actually played to his ability.
Fair. I would argue that the reason the Knicks lost is because Indiana was played significantly smarter than the Celtics. They didn't take a million threes.
No,
they played at a high. They played at a high pace, and they forced the Knicks to be basically in a physical fight every single night. And the Celtics wanted nothing to do with physical contact at all. They played like a bunch of pansies, and they just wanted to shoot threes and shoot threes and shoot threes. And sometimes that's going to work out for you, and sometimes it's not. And that's the problem. It's just not a sustainable way to win. And I think now people are realizing last year again, like you got to face the Pacers without Halliburton. Like imagine, and Donovan, the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell, and I mean, again, you basically played every single team without their star player, and then Dallas, Dallas was terrible. I still can't believe that was.
So this was where I was going to go with it. This would be a good jumping off point. So I said Cat. I think there were some other reasons, like the numbers versus Boston. For the Knicks versus Indiana were dramatic for these players. Josh Hart shot almost 38% against the Celtics from 3. He shot 18% against the Pacers.
Yeah.
OG shot 37 against the Celtics, shot 29. And then McBride off the bench shot 50% for the Knicks. Against the Pacers, he shot 31%. So they came back to life.
Yeah, but to be fair, Indiana actually played with effort, and the Celtics for a large portion of that series just didn't play with the effort and the pace. Like the other big part of that, Joe, is that like the Knicks were tired because Indiana played with such pace in these games, and the Knicks and the Celtics never did anything like that. They never tried to change it up. And again, that's why I'm constantly saying I think Joe Mazzulla should lose his job and then some. I don't think Joe Mazzulla should ever be an NBA head coach ever again. He's not a good enough coach. He's just not.
I'm open to the Celtics listening to ideas on a coach. I'm open to it.
Will never happen.
Exactly.
They're way too locked in.
I think they're locked in, but I'm at least open to it. That's why the Giannis stuff, which isn't true, which we'll get to later, but they wouldn't be able to play that style because of Giannis.
Yeah,
so.
which is this is the exact opposite of everything that they like to do.
Yes. Which is hard to really if you're being realistic about it, it's unrealistic.
Well, if you're being unrealistic, it's unreal. If you're being realistic, it's unrealistic on two fronts because it's not just acquiring the player, it's also the style of basketball that apparently your front office, your head coach, and everyone and their mother loves to play on this team, and for whatever reason, this is how they want to do it. Whatever, but be my guest. But I don't know. Look at how Indiana played, man. Like, Indiana just dominated the team. Dominated. Outside of arguably game 5, they dominated that series.
I agree. So here's the jumping off point. I'm going to open up with this one. Why not? Let's just throw it out there. Do the Pacers going to the NBA Finals make the path last year for the Celtics look better?
No, because they didn't have their best player for a good portion of that series. If they had Halliburton,
they didn't have Mathurin either.
They didn't have Mathurin.
Pretty decent bench player.
They weren't nearly as good as they were this year. Like they were significantly better this year.
But the outlook of them going to back. So Dan answered no. I want to throw it out to the listeners. Now that the Pacers are in the finals, they went back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. I would call that a formidable opponent. So does the Pacers going to the final change your thought on the Celtics' path from last year? And do you think the Celtics would have beat the Pacers? I don't know. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. We're here till 2 o'clock today. Dan Lifshatz is here. We got Jeff Williams back there as well. I don't want to forget him. You're always welcome to the party.
I love when Jeff's here. I get to see Jeff like 2 times.
Jeff's the DJ.
2 times in a month, which is like more than the last 2 years, essentially. So
we all got great beards going, I got to tell you.
I'm shaving mine.
I need a trim real bad.
This is coming off tomorrow. Mine's getting cut tomorrow.
You going baby face or you getting
No. I'm way too old to do that. No, this is just it's gonna probably be like very short.
Do you have a baba?
Yeah.
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 He sits you in the chair, give you the hot towel.
Yep.
Little smoke machine there, help you out with your pores and everything.
Well, smoke machine. I don't do the smoke machine. No,
the smoke machine's great.
Not a smoke machine guy. No, I do a double hot towel, and obviously, you have to go with the old school blade. You
gotta have a razor.
Yeah, I don't want the electric. No, I want the actual line me up, make it look nice. Cut me good.
We didn't. When I used to go to the shop in Medford, they used to play dice when I'd get my hair cut.
Yeah.
And you would think that's, being a bankroll boy, right, Dan?
Yep.
Like, that would be like,
enticing to you? Not your thing?
Do my damn haircut.
Yeah. No, it's
like,
fair.
Listen, we can play after.
Yeah, I have a fun story.
I'm going to give you money.
I know.
And we can use it.
And we can play afterwards. Back when I went to Hartford, and I used to get my cut there every week. I used to get a lineup. I used to go to Dominican Barber Shop.
That's where I go. Yeah.
Okay. They were drinking Mama Juana consistently while they were doing my lineup.
And
I
they
was
do an
always,
excellent job.
Oh yeah, but I was always terrified that there was a lot of Mama
maybe a little
Juana
slip up of a blade.
100%. That's what I was like. Oh, they're gonna nick like my carotid. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be bleeding out here. They never did. They were great, but I was always nervous because the amount of Mama Juana consumed by myself and the barber in that 45-minute span was absurd. I would say
we have a lot of barbers listening, I'm sure. But Dan, you know what? That's funny is if I was a cop, okay, if I was a investigator or gumshoe.
Don't be this guy.
No, going to the barbershop is like where you're probably going to get your best information.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to narc on them.
No, I'm narking on nobody. I'm not a narc.
I was going to say, what
are
we doing here?
I'm saying, though, man, the stuff that a barber hears or a nail salon hears are
100%.
Oh, my God. That could be a podcast.
Again, I went to Hartford. We went into the center of Hartford to get our cuts. The stuff that we heard back then, just as regular, it was It was there was a lot of little gossip in the barbershop there, just getting your cut.
That's why they have a couple of movies, right? Ice Cube, my friend of the show, he came on.
That's right.
He's coming on again this year, I think.
Is he? Talk about the league.
I would like to talk about the league and the new Friday that's coming out.
Okay.
I heard there's a new Rush Hour 4 coming out. So if Chris Tucker's in that,
Ooh.
could he come back smoking?
Ooh, interesting.
Still one of the greatest lines of all time when Devo goes down and he walks right up to him and goes, "You got knocked the bleep out."
Buy me a 40 for my birthday.
Yeah. Smokey! Is that you back there? Smokey back here taking it. All right, we got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
fairly easy. I'll admit it. You got to admit that if you even if you're like the most diehard Celtics fan, they do have to play the teams that are on the schedule. But was it? Yeah, because Dan, I thought that Donovan Mitchell tapped out. I thought Halliburton tapped out with his hamstring. Jimmy Butler didn't even want to play.
Jimmy Butler didn't play.
Okay, and then Luka was tapping as well in the final. The defense he was playing. So I just thought last year the Celtics would get out to a big lead and everybody would just tap. I thought it would happen again this year. They're not special. So I'll take the L. But for the people that say the path was easy last year, it was. Does the Pacers now going to a final justify the path?
I'm still a hard no on this. You didn't have Halliburton. They weren't nearly as well developed. I mean, Ben Shepherd was a nothing last year. Mathurin was starting to come into his own. I mean,
the Celtics didn't have Porzingis.
Nembhard, yeah. I mean, did Porzingis do anything this year either? I mean, again, the guy just isn't healthy. We predicted that when the trade went down. I said that was one of the big reasons I hate the trade, because that guy's never going to be healthy when you need him. And again, now we're 2 years in a row. I guess he was somewhat healthy in the finals. Did he get hurt in the finals again last year too?
He played the first game off the bench. And
I was at that game.
I was at that game. He was the reason I think they
won that game.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And then he made a big impact in Game 5, but they were blowing that game away. Anyways.
Yeah.
So. By the way, if I may give a victory lap, I always said the Porzingis deal would be better than the Damian Lillard deal, and I think that was fact. And I know that Porzingis didn't play as many games, but the addition of Porzingis was better than the addition of Lillard.
For sure. I mean, it's.
I just wanted to take
no, it's not wrong. It's just both of them kind of ended up. You won a title with Porzingis, so I can't say he kind of sucked, but
who did they give? They gave him Drew Holiday, right?
Who?
For Lillard.
For Lillard, yeah, they gave up Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday and a round of picks.
And then the Celtics gave up Robert Williams.
And Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, it was sixth man of the year, I guess. And that's what Nesmith went to the Pacers.
Yep. Well, Nesmith went to the Pacers in the...
no, he did. It was
in the Brogdon deal.
Brogdon deal. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. And if you think about it, just in general,
that was another part. Like Nesmith was nothing for them last year.
Oh yeah,
his development this year was massive.
He was a nothing against the Celtics last year.
Well, he was a nothing.
They knew him.
He was a nothing in general. I think his development this year was massive. He took a huge leap, especially defensively this year, in terms of being a stopper, in terms of facing off a team's best player. I mean, he was the reason that Jalen Brunson was really struggled at times during the series was because of Nesmith.
I would say almost every player on the Pacers took a step. Turner really settled into what he was. Siakam could be who he is.
Nembhard. Well, I mean, he kind of like, I guess that the Celtics series is kind of where we kind of saw the start of the blossoming of Andrew Nembhard, because remember when he was out, Nembhard and McConnell were the two guys who dominated the Celtics last year.
McConnell was really good in the series for he's a solid off the bench.
I didn't even think he got enough playing time. He was still solid. He kind of reminds me of Peyton Pritchard without the shot. Like they're kind of similar high energy guys. Just McConnell just can't shoot it at all. I think Pritchard's a better version of him and younger. Like that's why I would never get rid of Peyton Pritchard now. Like you couldn't convince me right now as a general manager to trade Peyton Pritchard.
Plus the money, he makes $6.5 million a year.
No, I think he makes more than that, right?
No, I think he signed he's got like one of the best extensions in the league, Peyton Pritchard.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they're getting rid of him. Contract. I got it right here.
I thought it was like $10 million.
Peyton Pritchard contract signed a 4-year, $30 million deal.
All right.
Which is a steal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So next year, actually, he'll make $7.2 million.
Yeah, man, he got to fire his agent.
For real.
I mean, that's brutal. He just won $6 million a year. He's making under $10 million a year. Brutal.
Obi Toppin was good last night. Thomas Bryant, what the hell happened to that?
Obi Toppin, another guy who kind of is really stepped up this year. Kind of his development was huge this year, and then obviously Bryant was like off the bench.
And I like Mathurin. I know he only had 4 points last night, but I think he's solid.
He was great in this series. He really was. He didn't. I mean, it wasn't all about the offense for him. He was just good in general.
So, do you think the Celtics, if they advanced past the Knicks, would have beaten the Pacers
this year? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, again, you would have had the same problem that you had against the Knicks. Coaching. The Pacers would have played with a ridiculous pace. The Celtics wouldn't have countered, and Joe Mazzulla would have got outcoached again. Like, I think the biggest problem for the Celtics team, I'm going to be honest with you, not just 3-point shooting, is the coaching. The coaching sucked. They lost the first couple games because of coaching. They blew massive leads at ends of games because coaching. You couldn't score out of timeouts. You couldn't defend out of timeouts. In crunch situations, the Celtics were bad in basically every which way. Indiana was the opposite. They were better against New York, and the Knicks were better against you. I mean, again, it's not a 1v1 because it's not the Pythagorean theorem here. But again, the fact that Indiana was better against the Knicks and you struggled against the Knicks in those situations probably most likely means Indiana would have been even better against you than the Knicks were in those situations. It feels like it all comes down to, in my opinion, execution and coaching. Indiana was was out of those teams executed the best and probably had the best coaching. And the Celtics had arguably the worst execution and the worst coaching.
I think if I had to look at it for the season, I probably would have taken Mazzulla over Thibodeau, even though Thibodeau outcoached him in the playoffs. Carlisle is a damn good coach.
Carlisle's way better. Way better than Mazzulla.
And I guess I have to look at, was it Mark Daigneault? Is that his name for the Thunder?
Yeah, Daigneault. I don't know how to pronounce his name, honestly. So
Daigneault. Whatever it is, he's 40, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look 40, by the way.
He does not look 40.
He looks
a lot of stress.
He looks much older than that.
A lot of stress.
For a young team, he's a young coach. Do you know he's from Leominster?
I did know that, actually.
I did not.
Yeah, local guy.
Local guy, good guy. Now in the finals. Was an assistant at Holy Cross, then went to Florida. And now with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I thought, by the way, I'll take an L on this one. I thought when they hired him, I was like, that is one horrendous hire.
Well, they got rid of, was it Billy Donovan? Who they had before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
He was a hell of a coach.
I thought the hire was terrible. Well, just forget about what they got. I thought the hire in general was a terrible hire. I was wildly wrong about that.
Sam Presti is the best GM
by far
in sport.
Yeah, by far. They have 20 first-round picks over the next couple of years. 20. Like they're not set up to be like a dynasty right now, but over the next couple of years, they're going to continue to be able to make moves. They're going to rapidly improve this team, whether it's through draft picks, whether it's through trade. I mean, they're definitely going to trade some of these picks and upgrade some of their players too. Like they stole Alex Caruso for Giddey.
With it, yeah.
And Giddey, I mean, look, Giddey had a good year in Chicago. But if you put Giddey on this team, again, the reason that the Thunder works so well is because they've impact defenders who can shoot. Giddey wouldn't have been nearly as good as Caruso was, even though he's a better long-term fit. The value there, the Caruso fit is unbelievable for this team.
I think the Pacers had a chance. Like you said, yes, they'd win. I think you can make a strong case for the Pacers that they would have beaten the Celtics if the Celtics advanced.
I think they would have beaten the Celtics.
And I think number one is the fact that they can score 120 a game. The Knicks scored 108 last night. Maybe some of it was junk, but I thought the Pacers' defense was elite in the fourth quarter.
Phenomenal. The ball pressure was ridiculous, especially on Brunson. The constant turnovers, Joe, was I mean, that was the big reason New York lost the series too. It was the consistency of the ball pressure from Indiana and their guards. The problem for Indiana is that you can't do that to Oklahoma City because they're going to do it right back to you, and they're better at it than Indiana is, significantly better than Indiana is.
Well, let's just look at it. They'll go what? SGA, Dort, Williams, Holmgren, Hartenstein. Like I don't know.
They're the best defensive team in basketball. It's not very close right now, in my opinion. And again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. In my opinion, they're not. It's not even close.
I think I like the 550 more than maybe the Pacers. Like I see the number 550 or whatever it is, and I'm interested
now
in the
it's
Pacers.
Like 4 something, right?
Well, I'm still interested. I see that number, and I'm
450 right now at Bookmaker.
I mean, that's a heavy favorite. Oklahoma City has been the best team in the NBA all year long. All year long. They got humbled in one game on the road, and then they came back and won the series.
I mean, the Nuggets took them to 7 and probably should have won that series. I don't know.
They've probably won 78. They've won 80 games this year. including the playoffs.
Here's you want my honest opinion. The series probably comes down to Jalen Williams. If Jalen Williams is really, really good for them, they'll win the series easily. If Jalen Williams doesn't score at a high enough rate, they won't win the series.
Jalen Williams, not Jaylin Williams.
Yes, Jaylin Williams. Jaylin, not to be confused with the other Jalen Williams. They have Jalen. No, Jaylin. His emergence in the playoffs as the Thunder's second scorer, like the second primetime scorer on that team, because they just don't have one, is Chet can contribute at times, obviously, but he is not that volume guy yet. Williams being the second guy is the reason that the Oklahoma City Thunder made it through Denver, and I didn't expect that he would be able to do that consistently. He did, and I think that's why they won the series in 7, Joe. If he continues to be that guy against Indiana, I'm not kidding. I legitimately think this is going to be a sweep. I do not think this is going to be a competitive series.
What's the number on that?
I haven't looked. I haven't even looked into the prices. I figured they were going to come down for the Thunder. I figured everyone would probably jump on the Pacers train after last night. So let's see. Thunder -1 now. Games right now is -270. I think that probably comes down. 2.5 games -215. Oklahoma City to win 4-0 is 4-1.
So plus 400.
4-1
for a sweep. Wow.
Yep.
All right. Let's start the day off. We got RJ on the Cape. Hey, RJ.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Celtics would have won because they don't show that they can push back against players that have edge. You look at the last 3 playoff series they've lost. They lost to Curry, who they had a better team than, I think, but he had edge. Jimmy Butler and the Heat. And then you look at Jalen Brunson in the Knicks, and it just blows my mind, too. It's like everything's all good in Celtics world. Like, if this is the Bruins against Florida, you got people calling up just killing the Bruins 2 years ago when they blew that. And I think this is just as bad of an upset, I think worse upset than the Patriots losing to the Giants when we were undefeated. I think this is worse. And it just, it's a shame. I don't know how Dan can put it on coaching either. I mean, we're at home. We're up 20. It's a stars league. We're up 20.
But RJ, they lost the game in the final seconds each time. And you're calling timeouts, right? So you have to have a set play out of timeout. You have to have a set defense out of timeout.
Sorry, his phone was killing me.
You couldn't get stops and you couldn't score. So what does that lead to? It leads to your coaching not calling the right plays, not getting your defense set. I mean, yes, execution comes from the players. I get that. I'm not absolving them from all the blame here, but the large majority of it comes down to the big clutch moments. You didn't even get shots off. It wasn't even like, oh, Jason Tatum played iso ball.
Back-to-back games.
Yeah, it wasn't even like, oh, Jason Tatum played iso ball, missed a shot. No, they didn't even get a shot off, man. That's not player.
And they ran the same play back-to-back. One team adjusted, the other didn't.
They didn't put the players in the best possible position consistently through that series.
I agree with
That's a coaching issue. That's not a player issue.
Yeah, I don't put by the way, when it comes to why the Celtics lost to the Knicks, I don't put the injuries anywhere near there. Like Tatum could have not got injured, they still would have been down 3-1.
Yeah, they were done.
Like I know Brown was dealing with a torn meniscus or whatever, slightly torn, but like they weren't playing defense.
I mean,
and you're right, they were still in it. No matter how bad they shot the ball, how poor their defense was, they still. At the end of the game. So this is why I think Missoula and them point to the analytics, because no matter what they did, they were still in at the end. It was the little things like the coaching that was the difference.
To me, that's where, I mean, look, even when you shoot terribly, I get it. And, it's historical. It wasn't one. But, like, even when you shoot terribly, Joe, you still have multiple chances to win that game. You're up by multiple scores in that game in the final couple minutes, and you blew it each time because, again, the Knicks pushed the right buttons. They put their players in the best position, and they called good plays out of timeouts, both offensively and defensively. Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics did not. That's really what it came down to. Like, again, you lost multiple games because you didn't even get a shot off. Think about how bad that is. Go back and watch all these NBA games. Like, Indiana would have gotten a shot off.
Halliburton
they
almost won the game, went into overtime.
They get shots off, yeah. Like, the reason the Celtics beat Indiana last year, I still think, is because Jaylen Brown hit that ridiculous three-pointer falling away in game one. If they had to lose that game, who knows?
Different series.
Yeah. Right. And that, by the way, that was also a terrible shot out of a timeout that you got super lucky in.
Siakam just didn't really put his hands in the air.
Yeah.
He kind of just didn't want to foul.
Didn't want to foul.
And was just a body.
But man, Brown was literally fading out of bounds on that shot. It was a terrible shot. They got lucky to make.
It was an instinct play.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, 100%, because Jalen couldn't miss anything last year.
Charlie's in Cranston. Charlie.
How do you guys think OKC handles Toppin and Siakam? Because I don't think Holmgren's going to do any good against those guys. Thanks.
So, Charlie, we talked about this off the air. I think that's the advantage for the Pacers. I think having Miles Turner and Siakam, they're going to bang with Holmgren's good. This is my whole thing about Holmgren. He's skinny. He doesn't look strong, but he will literally score any way he wants. When you want him to go to the three, he'll pull you out of the line. You want to get up fake to the basket, he'll dribble by you. Like, he's a good post player. Just because he's this skinny person, he's still a quality big in the league. He's probably better than both Siakam and Turner.
My big issue for them is everyone's kind of discounting Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, Hartenstein is the best defender out of anyone on the floor as those bigs. He's better than Siakam. He's better than Turner. He's even better than Chet. And Chet's a very good defender. Like, Chet plays the 4 a good portion of that game. Like, I know they'll rotate him to the 5 sometimes, but, like, Chet's going to play the 4. So if he's going against Siakam, that's a massive advantage for Chet. Not to mention, where does Miles Turner struggle defensively? Turner struggles defensively. He struggled in the series when Cat was at the three-point line and then took the ball and drove in because he's not good at the backpedaling. That's the one spot with Turner you always talk about, defending the three-point line. He's not really good at it. Well, if they put him on Holmgren, that's a freaking terrible matchup for them in the on the exterior to the interior. Hartenstein's going to bang with all those guys. Like, Oklahoma City's the most physical team in the NBA. What are people talking about? They're going to... You guys are watching too much Eastern Conference basketball and not watch the Western Conference at all. Like, Hartenstein is going to be more physical than any of those guys are. That's what he does. That's what they brought him in to do. So I don't know. I disagree. I think Hartenstein's going to really frustrate what Indiana does on the interior. And again, Holmgren is an elite shot blocker. So I don't know.
I think it's fascinating, Matt. It is fascinating. I don't know who's going to unless you put Neesmith on SGA. I don't know who's going to defend.
Well, I think you have to do that. I think that's almost an absolute guarantee that you're going to have to put Neesmith on him. And again, what's going to happen is SGA is going to flop, and Neesmith's going to rack up fouls and be foul trouble every game.
The refs last night, by the way,
awful. Both ways, by the way. Last night the refs were terrible both ways.
I love on our YouTube it just says Joe Murray and Lifshatz.
Found it.
Shout out to our YouTube fam. Riz wants to thank me for paying your salary today, which I'm not doing.
What did he say?
Riz thinks I'm paying your salary.
Oh, okay.
Because, he loves us, Dan. He loves us. I know that.
Whatever. I don't care.
Well, I could have at least got breakfast for us, which I didn't do. But you know what? Someday, Dan, the next time you're in, I know you eat healthy now.
I eat way too healthy.
What would be like, Jeff, I know you'll take
chicken and waffles.
I got chicken and waffles last time. Hey, Dan, I got chicken and waffles and carrot cream cake. What the hell? What was that cake that they gave us?
Yeah, that's right. It was carrot cake.
Shout out to In a Pickle Restaurant.
Wow, that sounds phenomenal.
I called ahead of time and they were like, "We'll take care of you." And then they gave me a giant carrot cake.
That sounds
for breakfast.
That still sounds phenomenal. No, for me, for breakfast, I am pretty much strictly a fruit guy. So, like, I'll do...
Ooh, like a parfait?
No, like oranges. I'll, like, unwrap, like, peel an orange. I'll do maybe some strawberries.
Do you ever put it in a blender and drink it?
No.
No,
No, it's not. Nah, I'm not.
oat milk, or do you drink milk?
No. Fun fact, at least again, I'm sure people disagree. Anything that isn't just like natural whole milk is actually like horrendously bad for you because they cut it with seed oil.
Dan, I don't want to talk about this.
That's okay. We don't have to talk about it.
Someone's going to call a doctor, and then it's just...
We're going to call a doctor. We're going to talk about how I know nothing, and then maybe...
Well, no, it's not about you know nothing.
I know.
Just get a damn doctor
nothing.
if you're going to do it.
I know, and then I for whatever reason, the morning show hasn't contacted me over that take. I don't know why.
I don't know why. All I know is you were talking about being one with the... What was it called again? Grounding,
yeah. Also, a lot of people call it earthing, but
earthing.
I think it's a really weird.
But I do agree that getting a doctor would have been. The bit I think would have worked if there was a doctor, like a real doctor.
I guess I think the bit would have worked if he was right.
We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray. Lifshatz is here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Joe Murray, Dan Lifshatz is here, everybody. What's up to our friends on YouTube? I see Riz in there, Brokerage Babe. Hardy's in there. Chop Johnson. You know any of these names, Dan? You know Pete?
No, you know what? I don't spend any time on the YouTube because one, I'm not important enough, and two, I don't do like the weekly show like you guys do, and so we never had
You never pop on YouTube to see what's going on?
No, you know what? I just kind of pop on the stream. I'm working all day, so I pop on the stream and listen. But or I'm in the car and I listen, but I never go on the YouTube because I just, I'm doing work on the other, on the screens. I can't really do that, whether it's, whatever it is. So on the weekends I'm gambling and during the day I'm working,
It's hard. I understand.
Yeah.
Cathedral Boston guy is in there.
Nice.
Pez. But yeah, Dan, we have 101 people watching
There you go. Appreciate you guys.
So we have grown our audience. Really, what it is a bunch of people just hanging out in chat, listening to the show and having their own conversations. They're all wondering where they should go to eat in Waltham today.
Ooh.
Which I could give you lots of names.
Okay, I mean, do you want, can I give you my favorite place? Tell me about it.
Okay, so normally it's just a steak and cheese. Yep. This one had
their steak and cheese is legit, by the way.
This one had a little bit of like a it was more of like the seasoning was different. So it's still a steak and cheese.
Did they have sauce on it?
No.
No. So it was
if there was sauce, it was minimal, like very minimal. Carl's is outstanding. I mentioned In a Pickle. Tempo is great.
Pickle's really, really good too. I forgot about that.
Tempo's great if you want good food and then hang out at the bar after.
I've never been.
Oh.
I've never been.
Love it.
Maybe I got to do that for a cheat day.
Yeah, you know where I haven't been yet? Shout out to our friends over at the 99. It's right across, right down the street.
Literally right down the street.
I just can't get there.
My dentist office is like the the building behind the big building, the whole center area. So I used to go there all the time. I used to go there with my dad all the time when I was younger. I haven't been there in a long time.
And then the Chateau has been around forever.
The Chateau's forever.
Still smells like cigarettes and sauce in there. It's like old times.
100%.
You walk in, it's like, sauce Sundays.
100%.
All right, 617-779-0985. I actually did go to a new place recently.
Yeah.
It's not new, but somebody made it's called Folsom Eddie's. I got a little bit of a chicken parm and a slice to go. Oh.
Yeah.
It's actually right down. So we have a side street here.
Yep.
If you actually go down that side street and it's over there, but it's like I never go to that side. But this week it was Jeff.
I'm a big Dominic's guy down the street.
Right next door.
So I used to
not Dom's. This one's Dominic's. Just to be clear.
No, it's Dom's.
Not Dom.
Dominic's right there.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah,
Dom's. Yeah, we used to. I worked in Waltham for 5 years, and we used to go to. That was the regular lunch spot.
They got great arancini balls.
The arancini is A+. A+. But they're closed on Sundays, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think they are. I think they're closed on Sundays. That's why I didn't recommend it.
I don't want to.
No, they're open.
Oh,
really? Okay, they didn't used to be open on Sundays. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Dan and I are here all day, everybody.
I can't eat
Dan,
food.
I know.
I can't eat that food. I want to, man. I want to more than anything. You know what I was actually thinking about the other day? You know what else it just opened a couple years ago here? Is Bonchon. You ever been to Bonchon?
Dan, I went to Bonchon with you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We annihilated Korean barbecue.
Korean fried wings. Jeff, you ever been to Bonchon?
I have not, no.
Okay.
There's one, right on Moody Street.
Do yourself a favor and go get some Bonchon.
I'll check it out.
No, dude.
I promise
you. The Korean barbecue is so crispy and tasty.
It's double fried Korean wings, and they have two flavors. They have hot and soy garlic, and they are phenomenal. Oh, phenomenal. Promise you it's worth your time, Jeff.
I'll probably check it out after the show.
I promise you it's worth your time. I would not lead you down the wrong path.
No, I trust you, man.
Well, Dan, I'm going to take you. I could stick my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
Take the butcher's word for it, please. All right,
well, let's talk to Justin. He's in Lynn. What's up, Justin? Say hi to Dan.
Hey, I've never talked to Lifshatz before, but I have the OKC in 6, Joe. I feel like OKC can win in 6. on that?
Well, Dan likes OKC at 4.
4 or 5, yeah. I think it's probably 4 or 5.
I just want to bet the high number for the Pacers.
I get it.
My analysis is the bigs. Maybe they win. Listen, they make these numbers to get money on both sides, but clearly there's a heavy favorite here.
Well, there was a big move last night at Indiana for sure. And again, I woke up late today. I've been doing this early rise thing, Joe. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. to go walk and play 9 because I live like across the street from a golf course, and I was going to do that today, but decided to pass. So I ended up watching everything last night. I am very surprised about the move towards Indiana. From a bunch of sharp people I was talking to last night who are much sharper than me, every one of them thought the price on the Thunder at like 705, 805, whatever it was, all thought it was short. And now we're seeing 565, and I think that's. I mean, I agreed. Regardless, before the thoughts, I agree. I thought that was short too. I still think it's short. I think it reminds me of the Celtics price last year, where everyone bet Dallas, and the Celtics just demolished them. I mean, just demolished them.
Dan, do you think you can read this from far away?
No.
This print here, Jeff, for the headline today. This is the biggest print I've ever seen. Like I feel like
my whole thing back here, I don't know, they printed it out like way big.
I feel like I'm reading a prompt. No, I like it actually. It's
you
much
can
better.
see it now.
I can actually see.
Yeah.
I have like 6 different pages for the 9 o'clock hour back here.
Nice.
Well, this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move and make sure you bet with DN Van Lines, an approved mover of the Department of Defense, dnvanlines.com. So 1 hour down, Dan. That was just as fast. That was fast.
That was really fast. Jeez.
Just like that. Stefon Diggs was on a boat this week. I'll tell you why the Patriots may cut him, but it sounds like Dan Lifshatz has some lift gas. We'll find out more next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
favorites in this one to take down the championship. Pacers took care of business against New York last night. Red Sox back in action today. Duran, Devers, Abreu, Toro, Meyer, Story, Campbell's at second base, not first. Connor Wong behind the plate, Ceddanne Raphael in center. Garrett Crochet will be on the mound today, for the Red Sox, who lost yesterday 5-0. Headlines, they are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. Over 50 trucks on the road, and there's not the rest of the read, but you know what you can do? Go to John Sewer, because they get the job done. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Selmack and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
100%. I've heard that. I can't even.
Although I think that it's a very high number. I think it's a very high number for Oklahoma City. But because there's a recency bias of the Pacers, and seeing me again, I see the 550. That might be a bait line, right? Like you hook them, got to get them hooked, right? And it did move a little bit, as you mentioned. The line went in the direction of the Pacers, but realistically, that line was set because it probably should be higher. But they're trying to maybe make it a 600-700 line because
Did they sweep the Pacers?
Oh, I'm thinking the final.
No. I'm saying. I mean, the West. Yeah. I'm saying. I think the Mavs beat. Was it the Wolves in 6? Was it last year?
Yep.
Whatever it was. Okay.
Oh, the Wolves have lost back to back. Just so everybody knows, with the Can't Man.
Yes, that's right. He was not. He has not been good in the play. He was not good this year.
You think he's taking a lot of heat? Because I'm not hearing it.
He should be. He was not good this year.
I hear Jason Tatum's, but I don't hear his.
Fair. That's a very, very, very fair point. I'll say this though, Joe. So last year, what was the big thing? The Mavs are going to beat the Celtics.
Everybody loved the Mavs last year.
What does everyone love right now? Everyone loves the Pacers.
Well, yeah.
It's a lot of recency bias when you have one team that sits for a long time. It's actually been a consistent theme over the past 7 years. Is the team that's won earlier has had the price move against them, and I did no doubt about that. Well, that was because Thompson tore his ACL in that series.
Did Durant play?
I don't think Durant played. I think Durant tore his Achilles in the Western Conference Finals, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they won in 6.
Yeah, well, remember, so they didn't have Durant. Thompson tore his ACL, and then someone else also, was it Iguodala, also got hurt in that series. They lost three key guys in that series. Because I had Warriors to beat Raptors as an exact outcome at a ridiculous price in that series. I'll never forget that. We were doing the podcast, actually, I remember in maybe not this room, but the other studio, Joe, on this side. And I remember coming out of there being because it was the same, I think that was the same year. Was it the same year the Blues played the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals?
Was that 18-19?
Was that right, yeah. Jeff? I don't know.
19 was the Bruins.
It was that year because it was that season, but yes, the year.
I have a vivid memory of coming out and we did a podcast discussing that, and I got a lot of crap for picking the Blues in that series. But I'd also
you did pick the Blues?
I had the Raptors to win the East, and I had the Warriors to win the West. And which is not exactly a big shot call there. And then I had the Warriors to win, to beat the Raptors in a ridiculous price, and ended up losing that, and I was very upset. I did not hedge that one.
Now
so I remember that very distinctly.
And I'm trying to remember, but I remember one time I told you that I would take the Cavs to beat the Warriors, and I believe that happened, right? Yeah, that was 2016. Cavs beat the Warriors. I think the Cavs were dogs. Then Golden State beat the Cavs. Golden State beat the Cavs again. Raptors won as dogs.
Yep.
Lakers were favored over the Heat. That was bubble.
Was
the Phoenix or Milwaukee the favorite in that one? I can't remember.
Oh, good one. I think Milwaukee was favored, but I would tell you that was probably pretty close. I can probably look at the price there.
We should probably mention this too, but TNT will no longer have NBA basketball.
Nope, the Bucks were the Suns were minus 165.
So the Suns are favored. Wow.
The Suns were favored, yep.
So Bucks were the last underdog to win.
Yep.
Okay. TNT, no longer. NBA, they're going to a streaming service and NBC?
So they're doing Amazon Prime, which is just incredibly stupid in my opinion, and ESPN and NBC.
So we'll still get like Sunday games on TV?
I mean, they can't do that. That song's done.
Why? They can't do the song anymore?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they can because I was thinking
they can definitely do it because they've been doing commercials basically playing the song.
All right. So I thought maybe they were like rebranding the whole thing then. All right. Well, that's good.
It might be like a different tune or something like that, but it's the same thing basically.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think this is going to be an absolute disaster for the NBA. Nothing new. I mean, again, the league does stupid stuff all the time, consistently. So this is just another stupid decision I think they're making. Why would you leave basically TNT to go to Amazon Prime? Your question for listeners, because I think this is a legit question I have. As someone who has every streaming service and I have cable, if you ask me what I'm more likely to watch a game on, I would tell you watch cable consistently for sports. Like, I would never be like, oh, I'll go watch this game. Now, if it's like a one-off NFL game, absolutely. I'll go and like Netflix had the game. I'll go and watch them. 100% no doubt. But for an NBA game, if you're asking me like a random Wednesday night to go watch like an NBA game on Amazon Prime, absolutely effing not. Not a prayer will I even think about turning that on. Nope. Won't happen. So.
Well, I will tell you this. Yesterday was a big soccer matchup, right? PSG was on. They became the champions.
Champions League final. Yep. Just demolished Inter.
I have my Xfinity remote that I go to talk to. I just yell into it. And then it goes to it, but I would have had to stream it.
Yep.
So then I had to like log in, and I'm like, you know what? No.
Yep.
And I just X'd out because I didn't have the energy to go through it.
Yep.
So I watched the Red Sox instead, and it put me to sleep.
Fair enough.
It was fantastic. By the way, that and the Indy 500, great little napping sessions.
Final round of golf on a Sunday.
Oh, God.
I love the Masters. It will not put me to sleep, but anything else, 100%, Jeff.
Bowling? Give me a bowling on there. Oh, the sound of just
I will not
pins.
watch bowling. I'll watch bowling.
But I'm a napper, though. I like to.
No, it's fair. I used to be, too.
So I think this stream thing you're mentioning is I watch football. I watch bad football.
Yeah, me too.
So football, I will go watch the stream.
100%.
We're all watching the game.
Yep.
I love basketball. I love the NBA.
Me too.
I don't know if I'm going to make the switch.
I won't. I won't even have to think about it. I will not be doing it.
Dan, the other night, I was here in studio. All I had to do was go to Apple, whatever.
Yep.
It was free. And I didn't even grab the remote.
Yep.
I was here for 4 hours. And I watched women's softball.
100%. I did not watch the Red Sox either on Apple TV. I will not go spend my time to go find a game unless I have a significant amount of money on it, or that's it. I mean that's it, or it's a football game. If it's the NFL, you got me hooked. Like a Thanksgiving game or a Christmas game or something like that, Joe. Even a Thursday night game. Sure, 100%. You got me. Because there's not enough football games. Basketball, there's 1 billion basketball games. College, NBA, there's 1 billion games. Okay? Same thing with hockey, same thing with baseball. I'm not spending my time to go switch over to a Prime TV or Apple TV or Netflix, etc. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go waste my time finding something. I'll just watch a show that I like on there instead. I'll just do that. I will not spend my time going and doing that. I'll just watch. If it's on cable, 100%. But I think, I have to be honest with you, I have a lot of friends who watch sports. Every single person who I've talked to about this has said the same thing, and you included, Joe. No one is going to do this. This is such a bad decision for the NBA. It's a bad decision for sports in general. Sports are becoming too hard to watch.
I agree.
Too hard to watch. I don't want to watch your effing Apple TV baseball game.
And just so you know, this isn't like, like Felger's the argument about finding it, doesn't want to do this. Like, I understand that part of it is difficult for some people, and I'm on board with it. This is about me putting the energy.
It's effort.
And effort into a game.
Yeah.
Like you said. Football, I feel like you said, it's once a week. We hype it up for a week long. It's like it's timely watching, right? But the baseball games and like the package and watch this, I don't have the energy.
Dude, if you're asking me like there was an Apple TV game, right? I'll put on something on cable because I can find 5 other things on cable. I'll be honest with you. I watched the WNBA over the Red Sox the other day.
I told you I watched softball.
Women's softball,
and it was great.
Yeah.
I don't know who was playing, but damn, they were whizzing that thing.
Okay. I would rather probably watch that on cable with a million different options to switch channels and find something or whatever than probably go to like Amazon Prime and like wait for like a 7 p.m. NBA game when there's 15 other games on, that night too, where I can find them on cable or somewhere else on NBA TV, wherever. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I'm just being honest, and I'm sure there's probably people who disagree with me. Whatever. I'm sure
we have someone in our chat who disagrees.
Okay.
His name is Mac Jones, or Brady Jr. These are just 2 obese boomers talking about how they won't change a streaming service. We're boomers, huh?
Dude,
Dan has lost weight. I am obese. Have at it, bro. Like, yeah, let's go on the internet and call guys fat.
I'm 30.
Okay,
I'm not that old. I'm 34.
Hey, boomers? I'm insulted.
Dude,
I'm 43. Yep. But like I'm not like an oldie.
You're not old.
You know what I'm saying?
I would not consider you an oldie.
I look damn good for 43.
Okay, A, you do. B, I would not consider you old. Like you're
boomer is not me.
Yeah.
I am not a boomer. This is something I would love to put on social. I am not a boomer.
Make a video.
I am not a boomer.
Dude, I don't really consider myself a boomer. I'm just not going to go. Like, if there's 25 games on cable TV, right? It doesn't matter what the sport, because you have college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL, college football. You have all these sports going on at the same time, right? Why in the hell would I go and turn on Amazon Prime to go watch the Magic versus the Bulls when I can flip on the 20 different games on my TV? When I get bored cable, when the commercial break, up, flip to another game, up, another game, up, another game. Why would I go to Amazon Prime instead of just flipping back and forth between games like a normal person does? Or if you're like me and you have multiple TVs going on, why would I choose one to watch one random game when I can flip between 20 different? That's insane. And by the way, I have lots of friends. Some are younger, some are older. No one's going to do this. I'll wager. Anyone want to make a wager with me that the NBA ratings from streaming on Amazon Prime compared to TNT, anyone want to make a wager with me that TNT would be much higher than Amazon Prime next year? Anyone? I'll make that wager.
Can I throw one more at you?
Sure.
Again, I'm not a boomer. I love wrestling. I watch wrestling all the time. If I want to watch premium live events, I have to watch Peacock. I don't like Peacock.
I hate
Jeff, do you want? You have to get Peacock just to watch it, right? It sucks, doesn't it?
It's the only reason why I have it is because of the pay-per-views, and it's a pain in the ass.
I miss USA. I miss watching wrestling on USA television.
And
whether it used to be UPN, I liked it better, or CW, or whatever the hell it was.
But even when everything was on the WWE network, it was so smooth and just easy to get to.
And you know what? It's actually, I watch less wrestling now because Monday night.
100%.
I love I watch Netflix all the time. I watch that. But on Monday, I work here at night. It's hard for me to stream it because regular TV works for me.
Yep.
Not because I'm not a boomer.
Sports are becoming too hard to watch. Honest opinion, it really is true. Sports are becoming too hard to watch. They're becoming too app-oriented. Put it on one effing channel, put it on cable, and put it on a streaming service. Make it both. Anyone can watch it anywhere. Just make it that easy. Why do you got to do 20 different things? Here's Abden123. I hate streaming live sports. I just want to change the effing channel if the game blows and periodically check in during a commercial. Streaming makes that almost impossible. If you're someone like me, I have 40, 50 bets a night when sports is at its peak. I'm not sticking on one NBA game on Amazon Prime. I'm not doing it. And if you're that guy, congratulations. You love the NBA so much, you're willing to stick on Amazon Prime to watch the Magic versus the Bulls. Good for you. You are the absolute minority, not the majority.
All right, I know we're late, but you know what? We're hot. It's like being at the blackjack table. You got to just let it go, right?
100%.
Let's talk to Riz in East Providence. What's up, Riz?
What's good, fam? Facts. Let it roll, Joe.
How you doing?
Hey, first and foremost, shout out to the Twitch fam, YouTube. You already know, Joe. You put out the bat signal, and this thing just doubled up down the chat, bro. Dan, you look good. Joe, you look great. You guys remind me of the 1,000-pound sisters, man. You guys used to be huge, but now look at you, man. You guys are just straight slim, looking good for the summer. That's what's up. But real talk, man, all this streaming sports, man, don't nobody want to do all that. Don't nobody want to go to an app to go search for this sport, this whatever it is, baseball, basketball, football. It's just too much, man. I just want to put my damn TV on, the cable, and switch through things. If there's a commercial, I bet. Let me go switch it to soccer, F1, whatever it is, man. Don't nobody want to sit there and search around. Let me see this. What game is this? What's next? Nah, man, it's just too much work, man.
Yeah, Riz.
That's the funniest comment I've ever heard.
I still can't get over the 1,000-pound sister. Did you watch that show, Riz?
I've never seen that.
Nah, I happen to see it. I've seen it before with these two big old ladies on there or whatever, but now I guess they've lost. I don't know if they lost the weight or had surgery because now they have a bunch of skin hanging. And now they're going to get surgery on that because it's too much skin.
Okay.
Good for them, though. You know what I'm saying? They changed their life around. They're healthier. I can't hate on that. But you guys look good, man. Seriously.
Thank you. Riz, you're not a boomer either.
Appreciate it, Riz.
No doubt.
Appreciate you.
That's the meanest compliment I've ever got in my life. It's so funny.
Bryant is in Mattapan. Hey, Bryant.
Yeah. You know, I like it better when all the shows came on 5, 7, and 4. You get changing channels and going to Amazon, and plus the game is delayed.
You're right.
100. Oh, that's true. That's 100. That's a great point too.
So,
you're 2 minutes
You ever
behind.
talk to somebody on watching the game and they're telling you a play before it happens?
Yes. So I work a lot of the Celtics and Bruins games. I react to what I'm hearing on the radio, not realizing that people can't watch it for another 30 seconds.
Or like 45 seconds.
With
You're on Amazon,
the stream, it's worse.
2 minutes, yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, Brian, it's tough.
And then you get the circling where it freezes up and circles around it for a few minutes. Then
the
it comes
circle of
back
death.
and you miss that play.
Oh.
Yeah, the circle of death's the worst.
So, I mean, why can't we just have our stuff on regular TV?
I agree, bro.
Money.
100%.
Money, the money, the
money is mine.
I agree with him. I hate it. I hate it. And taking the NBA off TNT, I effing hate it. I love Inside the NBA. I mean, I know the show's going to continue on ESPN, but I love... They're not going to be able to say nearly the stuff you can say on TNT, by the way. You know that show's going to be very different.
Oh, Shaq dropped an F-bomb last night. I love that.
Do you know that they had like a sit-down? There was a whole article about this, but they had a sit-down conversation with the Inside the NBA team. And they said, if you say it's like they had like, I think it was something like 10% of the jokes that they made, that they'll fine them each for each joke that they'll have and over. And so basically, the Inside the NBA is going to be completely different. They're going to be completely professional. They're not going to be able to be the same. They're not going to be able to joke or say the same things. Like all the clips you get of Barkley saying all these outrageous things over the past couple of years, that's gone. He can't say that stuff on ESPN. They are so PC. You can't say anything bad there. Anything. So
that's what kind of, not for nothing, that like, you know, if we do something on a stream, Dan, we can really say whatever we want. Well, for the most part, we can swear.
Yeah, not on here, but yeah.
No, but if we were just on Twitter,
yeah, 100%.
We could say whatever we want.
I swear every day. I don't care.
Yeah, but because yes, I'm sure there's some contract lingo. All right, we got to go to break, everybody. I'm sorry.
We're really late.
Well, that was funny. I got a nice little chuckle. All right, we'll continue this streaming. Dan's got sources. Sources or
I mean,
or nuggets.
I wouldn't count this as a source. This is just
Okay.
this is from one guy who I know is an agent.
Dan's heard chatter.
Yeah, about the Diggs stuff.
We'll get into that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I am not a boomer.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
I watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary. Honestly, give that a go.
I saw the first episode. I'm about maybe halfway into the second one.
Okay, it's very long.
Yeah.
So that's just the same thing with me, man. I turned it on, but I get it now. Like now that he's no longer with us, but I get it now, and I actually am glad he got his story out. Just to your point about maybe what the perception or narrative of some people are, you watch it and you'll come away different.
I just feel like though. I don't know if I could have lasted maybe like 10 minutes in a room with him. I would. He seems like he's infuriating to be around sometimes.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist.
Yes.
And he wanted to direct his own documentary. Yeah. That took a little. I ended up noting how I ended up watching it was I had to piece it out on doom scrolling. So I had to watch I couldn't watch the whole documentary, so I just pieced it out on. My algorithm has all sorts of things these days, Dan. Off the air, I asked Dan if he had any tattoos. He does not.
No, never. I wanted to get one in college. My dad told me if he did that, he'd kick my ass. So that was the end of
Jeff and I have bad tattoos.
I'm kind of happy I didn't end up getting it.
I agree with you.
I wanted to get a back tattoo. And it was going to be sports.
You wanted
related.
a back tattoo?
It was sports related. Shockingly. And my dad told me if he did that, he was going to
kick your ass.
Mm-hmm. And he can.
I went to Canada and I was underage, and I told all my friends not to get a tattoo. You guys are idiots. And then there I was getting a barbed wire tattoo.
Yeah.
I was a Pam Anderson fan. And then
Is that really why you got the tattoo?
And then I don't know why I got it, Dan. I was going to say, couldn't tell you. But then I showed it to Jeff, and then he goes, "Kind of looks like Goldberg's." Kind of looks like Goldberg. I was that time. It was.
I have a friend who has a barbed wire tattoo too from that era.
Well, whenever I see people with the Godsmack tattoo, I always say, "Hey, that was drawn by Layton Staley of Alice in Chains, right?" Because Godsmack was an Alice in Chains song, and they stole all their gimmicks. Did you know that? I've gone over this before.
You've gone over this. We've talked about this exclusively on the over-under stuff.
Trigger. Speaking of that, the obese Joe is wearing a shirt from 2016.
That is an old shirt, man.
It's got I actually posted it on Twitter, but maybe you can see Lifshatz's face over here.
Top right.
Yeah, and then I'm on the bottom. I don't know if anybody can see it on here. In here.
It's great radio. Just giving you a hard time.
Why the barbed wire is? Well, that was just what happened back then.
Was there a reason that you got it, or
Pam Anderson was huge? Everyone
cool?
had like a tribal thing going.
Yeah,
I just pointed to it and said that looks cool. Horrible tattoo.
Yeah. Did your wife's friends make fun of you for that?
So, I was 16.
No, I know.
I know. To this day, everybody makes fun of it.
Okay.
No.
I'm not going to.
And I told you when I go to the beach, I let it all hang out, baby.
No, me too.
If we're going to Falmouth, Dan, let's go.
I do not care.
But it's not the belly that they look at.
It's the tattoo. Well, unfortunately, my belly is the only thing that it's bright and white. So let me tell you,
that's the other thing. I was talking to Scaz about this the other day. I was like, dude, look how pale our legs are, man. We need to start, sitting outside with shorts on.
You know my thought. You want to get that vitamin D all day, and
yes, Lifshatz. How do I get tanner legs,
dude? So do you want me to actually? Tell you to do it? Okay, I was going to say I can tell you to do it.
Let's talk to Jay.
Look, I've gotten significantly tanner than when I was,
Are you gonna rub some grease on me?
No. Just morning
spray.
Wake up early, go outside.
That's it. Just go outside early.
You got to get morning light and then evening light. In the sun. I know. It sounds incredibly stupid. I'm aware.
No, it sounds incredibly easy, too.
It is. It's really easy.
Just wake up early.
I don't wear sunscreen, ever. Don't wear sunscreen. Stuff is terrible for you.
JP's in North Providence. Hello, JP.
Joe and Dan, the boys are back in town. Let's get the song going. Or maybe the not-so-big boys are back in town now. Riz almost killed me with that line about the 1,000-pound sisters. I had to stop and pull over. So, Joe, two things. Last night, Scampos, cacio and pepe spaghetti, outstanding, and the best cheesecake with a sorbet I've ever had in my life.
Ooh.
What type of cheesecake?
Sorbet, huh?
Oh, it was a strawberry cheesecake, and they whipped it, and it had sorbet on it. Oh, my God, Joe. Of course, I had to drop $40 for the valet parking, which is put me a little over the budget for a couple of weeks. So if we could do a GoFund JP, you could start one for me. I could use it.
A GoFund JP. A GoFund JP sounds legit.
Like, what am I going to do? You're dropping a bucket I have at the restaurant, and I'm going to go run to a garage 3 minutes away? Nah, not with that weather last night, but we had a great time. It was outstanding. And you guys talk about getting off TNT. Remember when McDonald's, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago started painting their buildings not yellow and red, and then they realized it's yellow and red. People know it. TNT is known for basketball. Bad move. And if you want to talk about trying to find something, you don't know what it was like in 72 trying to find Bobby Orr and the Bruins. You had to hold the antenna on channel 38 and put aluminum foil. One person would take turns holding it. So that's my generation's version of switching to this pay service. Bad idea. Don't like it. Keep it where people know and add the stream service. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
JP.
it. I love JP, man.
Hooch checking in right now and texting me. Not to mention, when you're at a restaurant or a bar, you want to watch the game. Streaming channels are
Dude,
never on.
that's a really good point. I mean, I didn't even think about the that possibility too. It's such a problem.
Big problem. Freddie is in Boston. Freddie.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up, Freddie?
Hey, I don't know if you guys ever used the Fire Stick at all.
Yep.
I've been using it for 3 years now, and I had it jailbroken. And this thing gets me every sports there is on one app. It's called the Sports Fire. And not only do you get the Hulu, Netflix, Apple TV, you get everything.
Yeah, I have it, man. Do you know how hard it is to find a good stream that will actually hold on there? You have to go to like 7 different streams to find one. I have the same exact app.
Once you get on one, though, and you stay consistent on that one, I think it's VidStream, it'll play.
I know that, man. But, like, first off, you're 2 minutes behind the actual game, okay, because it's a delayed stream and it's a rip stream. You're 2 minutes behind the actual game, so any sort of update you get on your phone is going to be way ahead of that. Number two, okay, not to mention this, number two, you can't switch the channel. When it goes to a commercial, you can't switch the channel, man. Like when you're someone like me who has I bet on basketball. Say there's like 40 different games, right? And you're watching 10 different games on college basketball here and 5 NBA games. I can't switch the channel. I have to go and find another 7 streams in order to find one. It sucks.
Dan, I own a super box. It's great.
I have exactly what he's talking about.
And the problem is that it freezes.
Yep.
And then I get pissed.
Yep.
And then I just go back to cable.
And
it's the reason why I don't want to spend $300+ a month on cable and internet.
I don't either.
But I feel like I'm forced to because there's nothing else I can rely on.
So that's exactly why I have cable. And I've told so many people here, like Kendra doesn't have it. But I've told so many people, I'm going to cut the cord. And you know what they end up coming to? I get frustrated with this. They get YouTube TV. It's 2.5 minutes behind the freaking game. And then, they lose this channel. I mean, why? Just spend the extra $50, $100 a month to get the freaking cable. And my cable is I got a really good deal through Xfinity, so I have like a pretty good price. I'm not going to complain about it. I actually like Xfinity, so I'm never going to complain about them most of the time. But the reality is I want to be able to watch the game when I want to watch the game. Like when I watch Thursday Night Football, my stream of Amazon Prime is like always a minute and a half behind the game. So whenever I'm watching anything else or everything else is always ahead of me. Everyone else is always ahead of me. It sucks. I hate that. So I'm never ever going to agree with this whole, let's go to Amazon Prime. Let's do this. That sucks.
No, I wouldn't
sucks.
I wouldn't say a word of any of this if I could just write off my cable bill and all that, but you can't even do that.
No.
Working this job. You used to.
I know.
The world has changed.
Years ago.
The world has changed. The world has turned and left me here.
You probably could find a way to write it off, actually.
Oh, maybe. Well, we can talk about that. You know a guy? Anyways, let's talk to Vic in Virginia.
It's off air.
Yeah, well, here. Vic in Virginia. Hey, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys? As much as I hated DirecTV because of satellite, it had the perfect setup of having a block of channels where I could just go up and down in between. And,
True.
All the streaming is like, I don't want to miss games. I will pay for convenience, but I'm not going to pay for inconvenience. And having to flip through different apps, there's going to be multiple delays, which is just ridiculous the way things are going now.
You know what's funny? That Sunday ticket, I believe I had an interview with John Taffer, and he told me he was like behind that whole entire thing, which is I've heard good things about Sunday ticket.
Yeah, it's legit.
It's good. It's okay on YouTube. It was better on DirecTV, but I mean, it works. But there's still, you know, like Dan, you said, I have multiple TVs set up. I have like the 3 TVs set up, and I can get the multiple games.
Yeah.
But there's still like, you know, switching in between games. There's going to be a delay to get to each game because it's got to download. So, but just being able to flip up and down back at your old remote back in the day was such a convenience.
Yeah, and that's all I think we're trying to say. We're not. I when Felger goes on his rant, I enjoy it because he really doesn't know how to do it.
I agree. Yeah.
We know how to do it. Of
course.
It's just not favorable.
It's not convenient, and it's not. You're going to lose, again, you're going to lose viewers of your sport. And I know you're going to get paid more money. I understand that. I understand why the NBA is doing it. I'm not saying the NBA is, doing it because they want less money. I get why. They're probably getting more money for it. I think long term, for instance, like someone like me, who, if you're asking me would I rather watch college basketball or the NBA, college basketball. Okay, every time. If you're asking me would I rather watch NFL or NBA, NFL. Would I rather watch college football or the NBA, college football.
Oh, yeah.
Would I rather watch the NHL or the NBA? Toss up. So now you're telling me there's an NHL game on cable, there's an NBA game on Amazon Prime. I'm watching NHL. Yep. You're going to continue to lose people who do not want to go over to the streaming service. And I'm sure there's going to be other ways to watch it. People who are diehards and whatever are going to watch everything. You're going to start losing fans. And by the way, it's going to start happening in sports. Joe, you tried to watch the Champions League final yesterday. Couldn't find it on cable, gave up. You're not a soccer fan. They want to expand soccer.
And that's who they should be.
And that's who they should be making it easier for.
They should make it easier for me.
Especially in the United States. You know what they're doing? Making it harder.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. They are losing people on their fan base.
The Revs that you can listen to here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, which is your easiest way to hear the Revs.
Yep.
You have to go to Apple TV.
I'll say this.
Now we used to have it on NBC Sports Boston. Right?
And I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. I used to watch the Revs because I like soccer. I enjoy the sport. I have not watched a single game since I've gone over at Apple TV.
And it's not on NBC Sports Boston?
I never will. There's a 0% chance you're going to get me to go on Apple TV and watch a soccer game. It's never going to happen. I don't care. I've seen a million games of Messi. I don't need to go and watch Apple TV to go see 37-year-old Leo Messi play for Inter Miami in a league that is not even close to the Prem. Like, I have Peacock to watch the English Premier League. You want to know what's happened in the last couple of years? I've stopped watching a lot of the Prem, and I've started watching La Liga, Serie A. I've started watching other leagues because you can get them on cable. It's just... This is you're going to lose people like me as a viewer. And I'm sure there's going to be other people you're going to gain or other people, whatever. But I think you're going to lose fans. I think this is a bad decision to grow your sport. That's my personal take.
All right. Well, the Revs won 3-0 yesterday, for those that need to know about that.
I'm glad they did. I hope they win every game. I want them to win, but I'm not going to.
Two friends of the show, Eli Feingold scored his first goal, who we had on a couple weeks. And then we had... the keeper yesterday, who's from Slovenia.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit of Luka and other stuff, and he's never had a Boston cream donut. So we talked about Boston cream donuts.
Nice.
And it's on 98.5 The Sports Hub if you want to listen to it.
Nice. And look, I wish him the best. I want them to win every game, but I'm not going to go watch Apple TV. I'm not going to do it.
Alijaz Ivacic is his name. He's the goalie keeper. Who shut out clean slates.
They've been significantly better from what I've heard. They've kind of turned things around from the beginning of the year.
Championship League was not on Channel 5. I bounced around yesterday.
Champions League was. I had to stream Champions League yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't on local. I tried to watch it.
Nope.
I think about the. We're way late.
Way late.
But I wanted to watch PSG.
Yep.
Instead of the Red Sox. Think about that, Dan.
Yep.
In 2025, I was looking for something to nap to.
Okay, I wouldn't nap to it, but I get your point.
No, I wouldn't have been able to nap to it because I would have been glued because everybody was there. Did you see everybody? Michael Rubin, Tom Brady, all the stars were there.
Yep, it was supposed to be on CBS. It was not on, at least for me, was not on CBS. I couldn't watch it. I had to stream it on Paramount Plus. That's where I watched it last night.
It was, at least locally for me, it was not on.
It was
so if
supposed to be on
somebody
CBS.
else had it locally, it wasn't on.
And I watched it on Paramount Plus. That's where I watched it.
Okay.
It was the only place I could find it.
I'm going to miss TNT.
Me too. I think it sucks.
I'm going to miss it. All right, we're very late.
Of course. That's our calling card.
This was a good discussion. I think we all enjoyed it. We can continue it if you'd like. I really want to know about the Stefon Diggs thing with Dan. So we'll do that. Should I just tease that every segment?
Every segment.
Coming up next, Dan on Stefon Diggs here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Hardy with a summer deal you can't miss. My friends at Revise are offering no-cost home energy assessments and free HVAC estimates for all of Massachusetts. Use promo code HARDY and get $299 off any insulation or HVAC installation. Offer ends August 31st. Call 800-885-SAVE or go to callrevise.com.
Hey, Big Jim Murray for Drummond Auto Body in Framingham. They're growing in the best way by delivering total satisfaction. Their Google reviews are 4.9 stars out of 5. And I'll tell you about one really happy customer, me. They repaired some dents and scratches on my ride, and they made it look brand new once again. Drummond will handle all the insurance paperwork. They'll arrange a rental car, and they'll keep you totally up to date throughout the process. Give them a call right now at 508-424-2555. That's 508-424-2555. Or visit DRUMONDAutobody.com.
And now, breaking news. You leaving me. Your state-of-the-art 65-inch 4K smart television. For going out with friends and not staying in to watch TV. Sources confirm that is a terrible decision. Picture-in-picture mode. Do your friends have that? Can they simultaneously stream live sports and extreme baking shows? How about I make everything sepia? Whatever you want, I'll do it. Just don't put me on standby.
Don't listen to your TV. Head out with your friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The year was 1985. Reed's Ferry had already been building sheds for 25 years, and things were hunky-dory. But then, home improvement stores. First orange ones, then blue ones, tons of them, and they all sold sheds. Reed's Ferry, oh my, we thought they were going to put us out of business. So in 86, we held a staff meeting. What are we going to do about these home improvement stores? And a guy in the back raised his hand and said, but aren't we a shed improvement store? What? And incredibly, the guy next to him had a harp. Bazinga, that's it. Reed's Ferry is a shed improvement store. We'll just keep making a better shed. And 30 years later, we're right next door to a big orange one and doing just fine. Moral of the story, if you want a better quality shed, go to Reed's Ferry. And if you're having a meeting, invite the guy with the harp. See a better shed at reedsferry.com. Then make the call.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
Need a shed? If it says Reed's Ferry, you got a good one.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads? No. T-shirt cannon? I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Felger here. If you're in the market for a new home, do what I did and turn to Cambridge Savings Bank for your mortgage. They offer a wide variety of options, from first-time home buyer programs to jumbo loans and home equity lines of credit. Their loan officers are some of the best around. Whether you're a first-time buyer or an experienced homeowner with no time to waste, count on the team at CSB to help you find a competitive rate and guide you through to a timely closing. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID number 543370.
Hey, it's Zoe, and you can design your dream outdoor space with TechoBlock and South Shore Landscape Supply. Check out TechoBlock, North America's leading manufacturer of paving stones, at South Shore Landscape Supply at 171 VFW Drive in Rockland. South Shore Landscape Supply, huge selection, endless possibilities. Learn more at sslandscapesupply.com.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Attention skilled tradespeople and sales pros. Are you ready to join a team where your hard work is valued and your career can thrive? Gem Plumbing and Heating has 2 new branch offices in Massachusetts and is hiring. We're looking for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, drain, and sales professionals who are ready to take their careers to the next level. Enjoy competitive pay, benefits, and a supportive team environment. Plus, we're offering attractive sign-on bonuses. Don't wait. To join our growing team, apply at AskGem.com today.
This is a public service announcement from 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Goodwill can turn your donations into jobs. They found a direct link between your donations and job creation. Log on to goodwill.org and become a job creator. That's goodwill.org.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Brown, but a rapper.
I'm going to see if I can get something of his.
See, James Brown?
Well, it's like James Brown, but rapping.
All right, I got to hear that.
People want to say what's up.
Oh, okay.
People want to say what's up. What's up? What's up?
Interesting.
Yeah, it was, Ron is dead.
Jeez.
Ron is dead. Why did that get so much play? That clip? Because it was like that. It was that OJ thing, right?
Yep.
That I always wondered why those things took off. Yeah, here we go. Is he gonna rap here? Is it clean? We don't know. What's up? Yeah, Dan, he
might be the worst song ever. But I mean, it's the beat is damn good.
The beat is very good.
Damn good, yeah, very catchy.
Well, Ron is dead. I mean, Ron is no longer with WWE.
Ron is dead.
Hey, don't let joint pain keep you off the course or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke at Boston Prolotherapy. Coming up next, Dan Lifshatz is going to give us. He's going to give us the dirt on Stefon Diggs.
We've been teasing him for an hour and a half. We only got 2 hours to go. Can we do it for 3.5 hours, Joe?
Dan Lifshatz is going to give us the dirt on Stefon Diggs next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
your friends to get with my friends and we can be friends. I don't know if we're going to hear that anymore, Dan.
I guess the sun really doesn't shine forever.
Oh, no, and it is not Bad Boy for Life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, victory is not ours. No.
Interesting.
No. So I wonder about all that. All right, Dan, we've been teasing it for 2 hours. Stefon Diggs is a member of the New England Patriots. He signed a interesting deal that we could probably get into a little bit here, but he's not at OTAs. And, he is dating Cardi B, or they're at least seen out in public together.
No, they're dating.
Okay, all right. They got a relationship. A relation sitch. How about that?
Something.
He was seen on a boat with some pink stuff, and it went viral. And the Patriots, or Mike Vrabel, commented on it. The NFL has not. And now there are reports. I shouldn't even say reports. There are people that think that the Patriots may regret signing him, and potentially they could release him. So I have a couple of takes on it that have nothing to do with the boat at all.
Okay.
I think the boat could be like the thing they would lean on to move on from him.
Okay.
So Dan Lifshatz is hearing things, or has heard things.
Yep.
Or has another take. So Dan, what are your thoughts? What are you hearing?
So I heard that he was very open and honest about what happened. That was exactly that substance was exactly what you thought it was, which is not a surprise. He is going to be disciplined internally, I believe. I don't believe the NFL can really do anything to him, but we'll see. He's going to be disciplined internally. I do not think they're going to cut him because I think he was pretty cooperative with what they wanted. So
he also posted a video.
Trying to find a good way to word it.
He also posted a video the next day of 8 workout videos where he's working really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think he's working hard to come back. I do believe that. Like this is why the boat thing means nothing to me, Dan. But you got to be smart around the cameras. That's really, the guy's an 11-year vet. The boat thing, I don't care about. I don't care if he had I don't care.
I don't care either.
As long as he can pass a drug test, I don't care.
Well, it's out of your system in 48 hours.
Well, so again, I mean, as long as he can pass, I don't care.
Supposedly.
I just don't care. To me, it's a non-story.
Well,
to the Patriots, is it?
I think it's a story because I think it's like, well, stop being an idiot type thing. My big thing for Stefon Diggs, and it's really simple, is, we always talk about this, Joe. We always talk about teams that get hyped in NFL win totals, right? Or teams that get hyped before the year, always end up falling short. Like it's just like a routine. Remember a couple years ago, the Browns were supposed to be like super awesome. I bet they won like 6 games. Last year, Atlanta, everyone, they're so good, went under. Every year there's super hyped NFL teams. Every year, the Bears last year, every year they go under. Every year. It's a routine thing. You get the hype, you fade the hype, it wins. Who is the most hyped team in the NFL right now?
The most bet at ESPN bet the Patriots over is the highest.
Patriots are the most hyped team in the NFL right now. Everyone thinks they're significantly better, and they probably are better. But everyone thinks they're like I heard someone beat 10, 11 wins?
I've heard a lot of people say, yeah.
That's crazy. To me, that's insane. That's insane. I've heard a lot of people say that's insane. No,
So what else are you hearing though? Regarding Diggs, just so people know, he got a $12 million signing bonus.
Okay,
they gave him $4 million already.
Yep.
He has to pass his ACL test for him to get the additional $8 million for the signing bonus. So that's where I start, Dan. I don't think it has to do with the boat, him not being at OTAs, but Do they have it in their? They have the right to potentially flunk him.
Yep.
To not pay him that money. So this is why I'm wondering what else.
Okay.
If we know about the boat, what else are we missing here?
So I'm going to give you guys basically, so since 2015, guys who tore their ACL and come back the next year have returned about a 30% of production.
Well, it's always the first year is their slow year. The second year is when they come back.
Yeah. So expecting Stefon Diggs to be good this year is stupid. Is basically what I would tell you. It's unrealistic to expect Stefon Diggs to be good this year. That's what I would tell you. And I think that's internally what the Patriots know. They know that Stefon Diggs, this is not about Diggs this year. This is about potentially keeping Diggs for next year. He's going to be under contract. If he struggles this year, Joe, they can restructure the second year to try and see if he'll take a second year and then potentially be good, and he can get another contract after that. But I think that's the game plan. There's been two guys since that time who have been really good. Chris Godwin was really, really good after he tore his ACL. 15 games, 104 yards.
How was Cooper Kupp? Because I think he was kind of slow getting back.
He was terrible
right?
too. Yep. Yeah, Cooper Kupp was absolutely terrible. There's basically been, ever since 2016, guys off their ACL return about 30% of their production from the prior year or from their last full year.
And I believe Welker did it. Edelman did it. Very
different types of players.
Yeah,
very different types of players.
Yeah, they're not. They weren't the explosive.
No.
Receiver.
No, very different types of players. I think that I've heard that a lot. Like, oh, well, Edelman did it. Yeah, like, totally very, very, very different type of situation. Like, again, you're looking at Mike Williams, right? What happened since he tore his ACL? Remember, he was phenomenal with the Chargers, tore his ACL. What was he last year? Nothing. He sucked. Kendrick Bourne tore his ACL. He's just recent guys.
Yeah, it took him a while to come back. He came back
he sucked last year. He had under 300 yards.
Yes, he was bad.
Yeah, he was bad. Bad doesn't begin to describe it. He was terrible. Call it out as he sucked last year. Now, I'm hopeful that Bourne gets better this year.
I know this is a different position. How was Gronk?
I think he was okay, right?
He
lost a step after the ACL for sure.
He returned the following season, so I guess he wasn't the same.
Right. Again, I don't know about tight end. I didn't do enough research. Here's another one. Michael Gallup, who came off a 1,000-yard season in Dallas, tore his ACL, 400 yards the next year. Wan'Dale Robinson, who just did it a couple years ago with the Giants. Remember, he was phenomenal. Big hype player, tore his ACL at like 800 yards next year at 500 yards.
Well, what about Brendan? I mean, Brendan Ayuk, is he even coming back this year?
So Ayuk is going to be coming back. Here's a good one. Remember, Robert Woods had a phenomenal year, tore his ACL. Next year, 500 yards.
And he's been basically on a different team almost every year.
Cortland Sutton, who has become...
He's a good player.
Really good player, right? So he was younger. So it's kind of a weird comp, but he was younger. But he came back 17 games, 60 catches, 775 yards.
Lower, but productive, but not what he is.
But not what he was. Odell Beckham, first ACL.
See you later.
14 games, 44 receptions, 500 yards. I would expect, me personally, games played, whatever, 40 to 50 catches, 500 to 600 yards. That's realistic for Stefon Diggs. That's realistic. Just going off the history. Okay? Mike Williams, Michael Gallup. Again, these guys aren't quite as good. Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton, Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard. I don't even count. You know what I mean? But like there are guys who are similar type situations. Kendrick Bourne, not quite as talented, but also not quite as old, Joe. And so that's kind of what you're looking at here with him. Is I don't think he's going to get cut, but I also think the expectations around him are wildly unrealistic, and I think the Patriots know that.
Well, I think this is an interesting data point when it comes to some wide receivers. We mentioned Brandon Ayuk, right? Got hurt last year. Stefon Diggs got hurt last year. Christian Watson of the Packers.
Yep.
Tank Dell, I don't know what the hell's going to happen to him.
Yep, that's going to be. I think he's going to be out the full year though.
But it's unrealistic for the 49ers to think Brandon Ayuk can be what he is, and I don't even know if he's coming back for them. By the way, this year, because he got hurt towards the end of last season.
He'll be back. I think he's going to be in 6 games on the PUP list.
Now, what about who's the running back that came back? Played for the Chargers there. Rams.
Oh, J.K. Dobbins?
No, Rams.
Cam Akers?
Cam Akers.
He tore his Achilles, though.
Okay.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles. His career was kind of over after that. I mean, again, he's had moments, and I love, me, I was a huge Cam Akers guy. I loved him out of Florida State. I bet him to win Rookie of the Year. I loved him. He kind of came on at the end of his rookie year there and didn't do enough, but yeah, then he tore his Achilles, and that was kind of it for him.
And there's a list of people who tore their ACLs at wide receiver, and when it's a Reddit thing, and when I go to click on it, it wants me to sign in.
Gotcha. All right. So I gave you...
That's like the equivalent of streaming for me.
Fair enough. I gave you a bunch of recent names that I think are compare. Again, you're not going to have the most comparable guys because Odell Beckham is probably the most comparable. Before the ACL, he was a stud. Tore his ACL, came back, 45 catches, 400 yards, 500 yards. I think that's what you're looking at.
I'm trying to think of guys who...
And these guys were all younger. All of them were younger than Stefon Diggs when they tore their ACL. All of them. So I'm giving Diggs the benefit of the doubt here. I don't think... Everyone's talking about how Diggs is going to be great. I don't think Diggs is going to be very good this year. Now, I could be way wrong. He could be an outlier in historical trends. Very possible. But historically, guys off their first year in ACL have not fared very well.
So are you telling me that they signed him to the contract? There were scraps. They could have traded for guys. Yep. There were reports they didn't want to go after some sort of, I'm using the term diva receiver. They didn't want to go after one for Drake May.
Metcalf, Pickens, yep.
And they passed on all of them. Why? Because of Drake May. But then days later, literally, and we talked about the reporting in town and all that.
Yep.
The reports were Tom Curran, other guys that are connected. They didn't want to bring in a guy that could be a
Stefon
nuisance.
Diggs.
Then they bring in Stefon Diggs.
Yep.
And then they give him the $12 million guaranteed. It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money for a guy coming off an ACL. Forget about the other problems.
Yeah.
So now what you're telling me is they're now having maybe reservations about the ACL and coming back?
I think there's expectations that he's not going to be the same guy.
Which goes back to forget about the boat. Forget about it. They owe him $8 million if he passes the test.
Yeah.
Physical test.
Which I think he will.
But they can flunk him. They flunked David Andrews. He's out of the league now and retired.
Yeah.
They flunked other guys.
Well,
they've done it.
The Andrews stuff still baffles me. They didn't flunk it. They wanted to move on. That was not a physical.
And he wanted to hang around.
He didn't
be on the PUP list, and
he didn't retire, by the way, because he can't play. There are a bunch of teams who are interested in him. I know the Falcons, for sure, wanted David Andrews. He was at Doug Kyde's event.
Yeah.
I didn't go, but there are other people who went. And he was talking about continuing his playing career.
We had Doug on this week who mentioned that.
Yeah.
And Pop Douglas was there, and other guys showed up. And Yeah, I've heard he still thinks he can play.
Yeah,
he's retiring this week, though.
But he doesn't want to move his family. He's made his money. He's happy. He doesn't want to move his family. I don't blame him. I get it. He's already banged up. If he does significantly more damage, who knows what it's going to be like for the rest of his life.
They drafted a guy that's probably going to take over. They got
the kid that they signed, Bradbury, was the worst. One of the worst centers in the NFL.
I love the kid they drafted from Georgia. I don't know if he'll play.
I do
right
too.
away,
I don't think he's going to play.
See, I wonder if he can play guard too.
I think he's like a red shirt guy, like a real red shirt guy.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
They've some guys plugged and played right. Dan Copen didn't start right away.
Yeah,
but Damian Woody did. But they had to move him to guard.
Yeah,
he was good.
He was good.
Just had to.
Yeah,
couldn't snap.
Couldn't at all. But I think the Patriots are going to be significantly worse than people think they are. And by the way, I bought season tickets this year. First time I'm a season ticket holder, Joe. So there you go. I'm going to be a season ticket holder. I want them to be good. I just don't believe they will be. I believe that they're going to be honestly, my realistic expectation for the Patriots are like a 6, 7, 8 win team. High end being 8.
Agree.
Yeah.
I'm under 8.5. Strong. Let's get into something on the other side here.
Sure.
Drake May's second year expectation.
Okay.
And I think Diggs has a lot to do with it.
Fair. That's totally fair.
We'll get into that on the other side. Dan Lifshatz is here, everybody. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
league and then how he performed. I'm not saying the jury's out on Drake May. The jury's certainly out on Josh McDaniels, though, for me. The jury is out.
You don't have to tell me about that one.
But I just think about the challenges Drake May has this year. Like a reconstructed offensive line. I still think the wide receiver core, to even take Stefon Diggs out of it, they're horrible. They're like top 20. They're like a bottom 30 wide receiver group.
Bottom 5.
Yeah, bottom 5, exactly. Bottom 5.
I don't think much of Stefon Diggs. I think he's more of a name than a player coming off his ACL. So, I think bottom 5 is fair.
I question the offensive coordinator. I question the wide receiver group. I question the offensive line. I even question Mike Vrabel as a head coach because he's a defensive-minded coach. I
disagree with you on that
one. Okay,
but that's
it's only because I wanted a guy that was an offensive-minded, and we'll see what happens if dude in Chicago does great, Ben Johnson. I'll take the L.
I think he's probably going to be good this year.
That's what I mean.
I think Chicago is probably decent this year.
So there's a lot.
No expectations now.
But there's a lot of things for Drake May that have to go right in order for him to be good. And, last year he performed on a bad team. He looked good. The potential's there. I still think that he has great athletic ability. I don't know if McDaniels can work with a guy like that. We haven't seen it yet. But just going with it, we're hearing a lot of struggles from Drake May. We heard bumpy, unsettled. I believe it was Greg Bedard mentioned Josh Dobbs might have looked better. I don't know on what planet Josh Dobbs would ever look better than Drake May.
The hitch was back, right?
Exactly.
That was the concerning thing to me. Yeah.
So he's facing a lot of things, and I think a lot of, to your point, the steam, right? Everybody's high on these. It's not that Drake May can't take the leap. It's just he's battling a lot of things, and I almost wonder if it's unfair because there's so many different things for him to deal with this year. I get it. You're a football player. You deal with it. They've catered to him, right? Like they got the line. They got him Stefon Diggs. They've done all that. And I think you have to cater to players in this league. There's a big question mark about him because he has so many things that he has to conquer, and when he had those opportunities last year, he turned the ball over. So I do have high expectations of Drake May. When I saw him in practice, I thought he was clearly the best quarterback there during camp last year.
No,
but the question of Joe Milton comes up, right? Like, why did you have to trade him? I don't know if he's being, pushed at camp by the backup quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things there that. Dude, there's no question he's the quarterback day one.
Yeah.
So, he can make mistakes and do this, and that, and he'll be fine. I don't know if that means wins and means progression.
I think there'll be progression. The problem is, and again, I think what a lot of people don't understand about the NFL is take a look at what happened to C.J. Stroud last year, right? C.J. Stroud had one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history, came back, offensive line got better, had the same offensive coordinator, same head coach. The offense was better, right? They got Tank Dell back. They added Stefon Diggs. They had, supposedly an amazing trio wide receiver. They brought back Dalton Schultz. They upgraded the running back room with Joe Mixon. What happened? That team offensively sputtered at times because the play calling was bad. And maybe we overhyped C.J. Stroud a little bit his rookie year. That's what happened. He had one of the best rookie seasons ever. Last year, they took a big step back. That was not a good Texans team last year. It wasn't.
Yeah. And I think, and I've looked at other guys like Bryce Young, got benched his second year right away. He turned it around a little bit, but he still struggled.
The thing about Bryce Young is he struggled right away. Everyone saw it, said this kid's not ready, right? We all saw it, said this kid wasn't ready. It's the opposite with Drake May. Everyone saw him and we said, okay, this kid looks good, better than I thought. The problem was, and I kept trying to tell people this, last year the turnover-worthy play rate was absurdly high. People don't understand how many plays May got away with last year in terms of turnover-worthy plays. He had a Mac Jones turnover-worthy play rate through his first 8 games. That's how many bad throws he had. And, again, he's not Mac Jones. He's significantly better than Mac Jones, okay? Kid's going to be good. But Is there any world that anyone thinks that Drake May could take a step back this year and maybe not look quite as good in a new offensive system with a guy who I think might be brain dead running the offense, who has failed every place he has gone outside of Tom Brady? He has failed every single time. He had one good season with Mac Jones.
And Belichick. If you take Belichick and Brady out, all he's done is fail.
Again, go that year with Mac Jones. And I love Mac Jones. I was high on Mac Jones. I was wrong. Okay.
No, Mac peaked and had a good first year and declined.
Does anyone know? Why do you think they had a really good year with Mac Jones' rookie year?
Well, I think he came off the Alabama. He peaked. He understood he had both guys holding his hand.
Well, I think that he knew the McDaniels offense.
You're right.
He knew the McDaniels offense. It was somewhat of a similar transition from Alabama. So I think that made it easier. Number two, they didn't let him throw a pass in the end zone for the first 8 weeks of the season. Do you remember that?
They wouldn't let him turn over worthy plays to your point.
Would not let him do that. Number two. Number three, the Patriots led the NFL for most short field touchdowns in the league that year
their defense was good.
8 touchdowns.
Yep.
So their defense, the fact that they didn't let him turn the ball over and that he knew the offense was the reason why he was successful in McDaniels. That was it. That was the end-all, be-all of why Josh McDaniels was successful. Because the defense put him in good position, and they didn't let him throw the damn ball. That was it. I mean,
they didn't let him throw the ball at all when it got colder, especially that Buffalo game.
Yeah.
And he was horrible in the playoff game.
So again, Josh McDaniels outside of Tom Brady is, again, statistically speaking, one of the worst offensive play callers in NFL history.
Had Kyle Orton, drafted Tim Tebow, went to the Rams, had the number 1 overall pick in Sam Bradford. They were 32nd in the
worst
NFL.
offense in the NFL.
He had
historically bad that year.
Yeah.
Derek Carr brought in, again, remember what he had? Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. I'm blanking on
Jacobs?
They had Jacobs. They had
Matt
Darren
Collins
Waller.
actually had his best season in that offense, but he was the 4th receiver.
Yep, they had Darren Waller. Okay,
yep, Waller. Yeah.
Yep. Did they bring in Jacoby Myers as well? Or was that
later?
That was the second year, right?
Yeah, he got fired at that point.
No, Myers was there for his first. They brought in Jacoby Myers, I think, because I went to the game and Jacoby Myers was there. Was he not?
This would be the 3rd year without Myers, right? Yeah, because Juju Smith-Schuster.
So I thought maybe my timeline is wrong. 29. He signed. What year did he go over there? Maybe my timeline was wrong. 2023, right?
Yeah, Josh McDaniels was there when they.
Okay,
signed.
So they had so I was right. They had a ton of offensive weapons there. He failed. He was one of the worst offenses in the NFL, guys. Like, why does anyone think that he's going to come in?
Who was knocking on the door for Josh McDaniels?
No one. And the guy. I mean, sorry, I'll just say it. Greg Bernard loves Josh McDaniels. Other guys love Josh McDaniels at the station. Okay, why? Why do you guys like Josh McDaniels? What has Josh McDaniels done in the NFL outside of Tom Brady that has been
Belichick.
Any sort of success in general? Anyone? What has he been successful doing?
Yeah, I'm just taking
nothing.
Again, people are going to tell you, look what he did with Mac Jones and Cam Newton. No, that was Bill Belichick was still here.
And by the way,
and I'm sure Belichick had a lot to do with them not throwing in the end zone and not doing those things. So that's why I throw Belichick in there, because McDaniels, outside of Brady and Belichick, has done nothing but suck. And now Drake May now has a second offensive coordinator in 2 seasons. All the transition that's going on. Dan, this is my point.
Yep.
I think there's so many things that Drake May has to overcome. Can Drake May save the Patriots from themselves?
No, not in year number 2 with this roster. And by the way, the whole Cam Newton thing, I'm sorry, Josh McDaniels sucked that year. You guys are insane. Go back and watch that season. The Patriots won. By the way, Cam Newton, number 1 in the NFL in short field touchdowns. I mean, they did it 2 years in a row.
And then what did they do? Again, the play, I remember he threw for 400 yards, and it was Julian Edelman's, I think, last game.
Was it the Seattle game?
Seattle game on the goal line. Goal line to win the game.
Yep. Well, I'm not going to blame Josh on that one. That's Cam should get the
ball. The double pull with Onwenu?
I don't love it, but
he ran right into him.
I get it. I'm not.
And then he threw a wide open pass to N'Keal Harry and dropped.
Not going to blame Josh McDaniels. And I hate Josh McDaniels. I think he's a blithering idiot. I'm not going to blame Josh McDaniels for that one. That's not his fault. Like, he's designed to play and they screwed it up. Well, that's not his fault. But the reality is, go back and watch that year. Like, Cam Newton's, they led the NFL in short field touchdowns. Josh McDaniels isn't a good offensive coordinator. He was not good with Cam Newton. Stop trying to pretend and think that he was. If Josh McDaniels was a good offense coordinator, he would have said, screw this, we're running the college offense. From Sean, the Rams year with McDaniels ranks the 16th worst offense in history. I told you. It was one of the worst in history. It was one of the worst offenses in NFL history. He is historically bad. He is predictable. He is historically bad. And it's going to be no different this year. You guys are all absolutely delusional into what you think Josh McDaniels is going to take this team to. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess offensively. Drake May is going to look good at times, and he's going to look terrible at times. It's going to happen. It's a hard offense to learn. No one grasps it. No one. The only guy who ever did is the greatest player of all time. There's one guy who has grasped the offense, Joe, at quarterback. He's the greatest quarterback ever in NFL history by a massive margin. For now. Maybe Patrick Mahomes gets there at some point. But for now, it's a massive margin. That's the only guy. You could put right now, you could put the triple option with Patrick Mahomes, and I still think the Kansas City Chiefs would probably still have the same amount of touchdowns, Super Bowls.
We got everybody hyped for the season right now, huh? I think
it's going to be a mess.
Listen, I do this every night. I think it's going
to be a mess.
The jury's out on Josh McDaniels. Every night I do this, and every night I get people saying, you don't know what you're talking about.
Every night.
And all I can do is give you the facts.
I will take on anyone when it comes to Josh McDaniels. Anyone. He sucks. He has had one good NFL season outside of Tom Brady. It was with Mac Jones, and he led the NFL in short field touchdowns. By the way, just to give you an idea of how many short field touchdowns they had that year, Joe, that right now ranks 7th in NFL history in short field touchdowns. Short field touchdowns are considered touchdowns where the offense starts inside the opponent's 30. They are 7th in NFL history. 7th. That year was 7th. The year before with Cam Newton, 18th. They are top 20 back-to-back years in short field touchdowns in NFL history, Joe. That is why Josh McDaniels
sounds like they needed a good defense.
Sounds like Josh McDaniels sucks. He sucks. It's gonna be a mess this year. They're going to take a step back offensively, and especially the first few weeks.
Wait, Dan, so I'm glad you and I feel the same way.
Yep.
And if we're here on Sundays, we can do this every week.
It's going to be.
We could say, hey, guys, Josh McDaniels slowing down Drake May's development.
Yep.
I also think the players will slow him down, too. Like, I don't think the wide receiver group's good. I don't think they're good.
Can I also? Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That's it. That's all I got.
Can I say?
No, I do think Diggs, even though might have a bad wheel, and he cut plays, I still think he's better than anything they have.
Me too. I'm not. That's why I don't want to cut him. Can I say one more thing?
One more. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we've heard so many reports from so many people saying, Josh McDaniels was connected to Mike Vrabel. Josh McDaniels. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this because I said it before. After Ohio State lost to Michigan, right? That was this year. They went off as 17.5-point favorites, whatever it was. It's absurd, right? Ryan Day was widely being talked about being fired at Ohio State. Widely being talked about. And this was I think it was like we were like 2/3 of the way through the NFL year. Widely being talked about, and the boosters were talking about it. I have a lot of connects to Ohio State. Okay. That's like one of the college football programs a lot connects to. One guy that they had there, 2 guys on the short list. I'm not going to name the other guy. One guy, you can probably figure it out, though. One guy was Mike Vrabel.
Yep.
They said, Vrabel, who would you bring in as an offense coordinator? They suggested Josh McDaniels. He told them to go F themselves.
Wow.
So
he wasn't he like doing work with, he wasn't an assistant. He was watching Chip Kelly.
Yep.
At Ohio State, trying to learn more plays. So that's just one of the things they were pumping up McDaniels about.
So I do not believe any of the reports. Now from Albert Breer, who's super well connected to Ohio State, I think he's doing some favors. I love Bert. I think he's one of the most underrated NFL reporters in the NFL because I think that especially for draft stuff, he's on
the phone with everybody. Okay, we've seen it.
I'm just saying. I think everyone who's reporting that Mike Vrabel is connected to Josh McDaniels is lying. I do not believe that at all. I do not believe it whatsoever. I think that this Josh McDaniels is a Kraft guy, and it is 100%. This was a Robert Kraft decision to bring in Josh McDaniels. He needed some sort of control on his team. He relinquished roster control. He relinquished player personnel control. He relinquished defensive control. So he needed someone in the building to be his guy because, I'm sorry, Elliott ain't making the decisions on the roster. Elliott Wolf is not the general manager. It's Ryan Cowden and Mike Vrabel.
Did you read Mike Reese last week?
No.
He mentioned that the one guy that Mike Vrabel wanted the most, Thomas Brown.
Okay.
Mike Reese wrote that.
Yep.
Where do you think that's coming from?
Yep. It's from Vrabel.
They wanted Thomas Brown, who was the interim coach in Chicago.
Yep.
Who was at one point the offensive coordinator in Chicago. I think,
Carolina.
Or Carolina, whatever. But last week they wrote. I didn't see anything about Josh McDaniels in there. I just saw they really wanted Thomas Brown.
All offseason I've heard, they're connected. See this. Oh, look who's saying this. Look who's saying BS. I call BS on all of you. It's complete utter BS. 100% I'll never believe that story. I don't care if Mike Vrabel came up and told me to my face that I'm wrong. I will not believe that story. That is a Robert Kraft guy. Robert Kraft wanted some control of his team, and that is where he got it. Again, you can't have everything.
He did it with Bill O'Brien too.
Yeah, you can't have everything, right?
Belichick didn't want
Bill Belichick did not want Bill O'Brien.
He actually wanted to bring back Matt Patricia.
100%. That's 100% true.
So that's why I said it was suspect.
Yeah,
because it was suspect.
So again, I'm going to say this: 100% Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is Robert Kraft's guy, not Vrabel's, and I guarantee you, Josh McDaniels will not be here more than 2 years. Calling my shot right now. He will be gone after 2 years.
Okay.
He will be gone. And honestly, I think there's a real chance he won't make it through this year. Or won't make it after this year. I think there's a real possibility for a one and done thing.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a break. We'll take a quick break. I like this. I do this every night, and everyone just tell you're wrong, and
Sometimes you need an a-hole to come in and tell you you're right.
Yes, thank you.
Me, I'll be the a-hole. I'll tell you. I'll gladly sit here and say, I don't care. You guys are wrong about Josh McDaniels.
But this is sports radio, though. You can't just say, "Well, he's won so many championships." Yeah, with the greatest
Tom Brady. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick held his hand. Congratulations.
Not one person around the league interviewed Josh McDaniels for an offensive coordinator.
There's a reason. He's a moron. Everyone in the NFL knows McDaniels' offense system antiquated and isn't good. But you know who loves him? You know who thinks he's the most brilliant boy in the room? Robert. Robert loves him. And remember? He's supposed to go to Indy. He didn't go to Indy. Why? Robert loves him. You know who didn't want him? Bill.
You're right. Just saying.
And by the way, I'm not telling you Belichick was something great after Brady left because he wasn't. But Bill was pretty damn good coach. I know a lot of people think he sucks and was, Tom Brady was the whole reason they won. Bill was pretty big coach.
Bill was given a leash and hung himself with the leash and buried the franchise. And now they're left with everything here. And who knows what Bill was thinking at those times either.
Probably about Jordan.
Jordan. Wow, we actually said the name today. I didn't think we were going to. We got to go to break. He's Dan Lifshatz. I'm Joe Murray. People saying louder, Dan. Louder here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
When you crack a smile, it's good. When you have a crack in your foundation, it can be wet. That's the time to whack the crack with Ramjack. Call Ramjack and they'll look at your foundation, sidewalk, patio, or concrete deck and give you a free estimate. Tell them the Sports Hub told you to whack the crack with Ramjack.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
And now, breaking news. You leaving me. Your state-of-the-art 65-inch 4K smart television. For going out with friends and not staying in to watch TV. Sources confirm that is a terrible decision. Picture-in-picture mode. Do your friends have that? Can they simultaneously stream live sports and extreme baking shows? How about I make everything sepia? Whatever you want, I'll do it. Just don't put me on standby.
Don't listen to your TV. Head out with your friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Hey, it's Maz for Window Nation. Beat the heat with Window Nation's semi-annual sale going on right now. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and get a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment when prices are going up. Their windows also come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't wait to get your estimate. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Hey, it's Maz. As the weather turns from cold to warm, it's a great time to remind you that Bigelow green tea tastes great hot or cold. So, have it however you like it, but make sure it's always Bigelow, because when it comes to tea, settling is not an option. Bigelow tea, grab a mug and tea proudly.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Attention skilled tradespeople and sales pros. Are you ready to join a team where your hard work is valued and your career can thrive? Gem Plumbing and Heating has 2 new branch offices in Massachusetts and is hiring. We're looking for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, drain, and sales professionals who are ready to take their careers to the next level. Enjoy competitive pay, benefits, and a supportive team environment. Plus, we're offering attractive sign-on bonuses. Don't wait. To join our growing team, apply at AskGem.com today.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the
It sucks that it's June 1st and it's 60 effing degrees outside. What is the deal? Why is it so cold?
Well, I don't know. You know.
I don't know.
You're one with the sun.
I don't know, man. This sucks. This is why I'm moving. This is why. This is why. It's too damn cold.
Did you go away for Memorial Day?
No, I did not. No, we ended up staying here.
No, but like if you did go away,
where would I go?
It would have been chancy, the weather.
Yeah.
I will never forget this. A couple of years ago, July 4th. Oh, I bought a lot of Doms. And dude, 4th of July poured for 3 straight days. It was terrible.
I was in the Cape.
Yeah, same thing. And it was horrible. And I was upset because, you spend money, plus the rates are up that weekend. I know you got a spot, but the rates are up that weekend. And it was just, so now I'm like, well, when is I still think the best time of the year, Dan, seriously, is week 0.
I agree. It's really good.
Week 0 is like, because you get the games.
Yep.
I think you get Wimbledon tennis, I think, too, that weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But because it's still what is it, August 3rd? Oh, they announced the games. Did you see that? For week 0,
yes,
college football?
Yep, so.
And is it North Carolina TCU that weekend?
Yep, UNC TCU.
I should bring this up quickly. Today's the deadline for UNC to lock up Bill Belichick with his deal year 1. So if nothing happens, unless there's a news dump today about Bill Belichick getting fired, he's going to be the coach year 1.
So week 0, sorry, I apologize. Week 0 is Iowa State, Kansas State. Really good game in Dublin, which sucks. I hate that. Stop playing games.
I like Notre Dame in Ireland.
Yeah, seriously. You want to play Notre Dame in Ireland? Iowa State and Kansas State? No, that should be in freaking in Manhattan. That's stupid. Fresno State at Kansas.
Is
interesting game.
Well, Jaden, that quarterback still at Kansas?
No, gone.
He's not. Okay,
gone. Sam Houston at Western Kentucky.
Ooh,
interesting game there.
Okay.
And Stanford at Hawaii, which is it's always a game that's played.
Stanford has Andrew Luck back in the program, and Hawaii is still trying.
Stanford's favored in that game, by the way. They're a small favorite
on the island.
Yeah, on the island. I do not like. I do not like Stanford on the
underdogs.
Yep. Week 1. So there's no UNC.
What date is week 0? Do you know what?
Week 0 is August 23rd.
Oh, that's the week.
Yep.
That's the week.
August 23rd.
That might be a little early, but I would say that August to first week of September, before week 1 of the NFL, that's the best time to go away.
Yep.
Not to mention all of 23 straight weeks of football that I'll.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm looking to move, because it's too cold. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I can't do the cold. I've done it for 34 years. I'm done with the cold.
All right. Well, we're here till 2:00 today.
I'm done.
Einbein's in there. You know Einbein?
I do not.
Einbein is a listener of ours.
Oh, okay.
And he has one leg, but he has a prosthetic leg. And we have made jokes about, if somebody wins, we'll drink out of the leg.
Nice. I like that.
And he wants to get lunch, but loves our show, so he doesn't want to leave because he wants to listen before he gets lunch.
Oh, they have a radio in the car.
That's true.
And you can put 98.5 app.
On the app. Tap that app.
Tap that app.
And on YouTube. Ron's in Medford. Hey, Ron.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I tell you, when you two are together on a show, I love it. I really do. I mean, you guys are... every once in a while, you'll get a couple of guys that just mesh and draw you in. And to to date myself, I'm almost 65 years old, but Dennis and Callahan, I had to listen. I just didn't have any, when I heard them, I had to listen. And when you guys start talking, in fact, my wife thinks that when I try to make a point that I'm really adamant about, like Dan, the inflection in his voice, she told me, is exactly what I sound like.
Wow, Dan, you're influencing our... Do you know how many... And I appreciate the compliment. Do you know how many shows Dan and I have done together?
Oh, yeah. I used to listen to these all the time when you were doing the Bankroll Boys. Listening all the time.
Yeah, but we've done podcasts.
Yep.
Yep.
Lots of podcasts. We've done just conference podcasts.
Yep.
And then,
locked in a room together for hours.
And, so we should do hours of college football and then hours of NFL. Yes. There's a lot of... thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, you guys are really interesting to listen to, I'll tell you. But, I think the only reason people are talking about their win total, like 11, 12, you got to be out of your mind, is because of their schedule. But the schedule means nothing. I mean, who knew what Washington was going to be last year? I mean, you're going to have teams that you think aren't that good that are going to be better than you thought, and teams that were good last year that aren't so good. So, I mean, if they win 7 games, I think it was successful. But and even the Drake May thing, like, everybody's concrete that this is the guy. We got the guy. How do you know we got the guy?
I think.
I mean,
Ron, I'll say this. I think that they can win games with Drake May. So whether he's the guy or not, they should be able to win games with him.
Yeah, I like him, but I mean, I'm not. I hope he's the guy. I mean, we've had nothing to be happy about.
And Ron, they've also given Drake May now Josh McDaniels.
Well, there you go. So we know we're going to win 4 games.
Wow, there you go. Now you get the Lifshatz rubbing off on you there. But just to talk. All right, let's try to do this in like 2 minutes or so.
Sure.
Which is not easy to do.
No.
The reason why I'm on the under, I think 4 wins to 9 wins is dramatic.
Massive jump.
I think betting-wise, it's a risk trying to bet on something that is juiced or a vig. I just think it's not a valuable bet. It's not a profitable bet. Therefore, I wouldn't advise betting on a 5-win improvement when you're paying a vig.
Yeah, I just don't think that you can bet on a 5-win improvement when you have a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a lot of new pieces on your roster. And I don't think you necessarily got that much better. Like, where did they really get that much better?
I think they're better defensively and on the defensive line because they were so bad against the rush.
Yeah, that's fair.
Milton Williams, I guess, we'll find out.
Is really
right?
good. I like Milton Williams a lot. And I think, obviously, I
like Carlton Davis too, but did they need it? I don't know.
I like Carlton Davis. I like Landry. I think those are all really good additions. I still think that it doesn't matter how good your defense is when your offense can't move the football. I think they'll be able to sustain some success here and there, but for the most part, their offense didn't get better. They brought in Stefon Diggs, right? So, and I like their offseason, but just being realistic, they brought in Stefon Diggs off an ACL. I don't think he's going to be nearly as good as other people do. They brought in Josh McDaniels to be their offense coordinator. I think he's a blithering idiot.
I think Trevion Henderson will help out.
I think
whether it's running back or a playmaker, I think he'll help.
I do, but I'd rather have Gerard Mayo calling my offense than Josh McDaniels. That's how bad I think he is. So Trevion Henderson, I think, is a really, really good player, but they're going to have to utilize him correctly. And I think that's really difficult to utilize a guy correctly in those type of situations. So I'm not sure if they can, if they'll utilize him correctly. We'll see. But I think I really like the player. Offensive line, did it get much better? Does everyone think Will Campbell's going to be a stud? I don't. I'm not a Will Campbell guy. I think he kind of sucked at LSU. Sucked is a strong word. I think he got dominated at LSU at times when he was facing NFL talent. When he faced non-NFL talent, I think he was elite. When he faced NFL-type talent, I think he struggled a little bit. I think their center is a superior downgrade from where they were last year. I don't think Bradbury's very good at all. Sorry. I think they're pretty much, I think Morgan Moses is a really good right tackle. I don't think you can expect him to play 16 games at the age of 35. So I think they have some pieces that are okay, but I don't think that they got dramatically better offensively. I think defensively they're a much better coach team. I think they'll improve 3-4 wins. I think asking for 5-6 wins and making a massive dramatic leap without really improving your roster is really, really difficult.
I'm just looking at the number. I just think it's a high number.
I agree with that. And by the way, you and I always talk about, I always say this, and we've been together doing this a long time. Looking at the schedule is stupid. I'll say it again. Schedule hunting is really stupid. How many teams marked the Commanders as a win on their schedule last year? How many teams marked, I don't know, the Atlanta Falcons as a loss last year? How many teams marked the Chicago Bears as a loss? I mean, just go down the list. How many teams marked the LA Rams as a win last year? People just don't know the NFL. That's the problem. Is really people don't know the league. It's not a consistent league. There is parity and change every year. So I've heard everyone talk about Carolina as being a bad team. Carolina was one of the best 5 offensive teams in the second half of last season.
Yeah.
Everyone's writing them off as a bad team.
Oh, they turned it on.
They were good. They were
a great cover last year. They were a great cover at the end of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to talk more Patriots, we're here.
I'm glad to talk about it. I'm just saying, and by the way, I think 7-8 wins next year is very successful. Yeah. I think that's a successful season. I would deem that a success.
I'm on the record just saying.
I don't need 11, 12 wins to be success.
I don't care about the wins personally. I want them to become an attractive team. Because right now, nobody wants to sign here. The perception is that they don't spend money. And I think if they did move on from Stefon Diggs, what kind of message will that send to the rest of the league?
I think that's a very fair point. I think that there's a lot of eyes watching that. I don't think there'll be a destination because I think you have an offensive coordinator who is not. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people who do not like Josh McDaniels.
Has anybody? I know we're way late, but this is one I got to get out.
Feel free.
Who do the Patriots play week 1?
The Raiders.
You mean to tell me that Max Crosby and that group hasn't circled that game and know that Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator of that team?
They hate him.
No. Did you know that Antonio Pierce, who's no longer with the Raiders, said that he never heard players talk bad about a coach like they've talked about Josh McDaniels.
NFL players hate Josh McDaniels. They smoked cigars when he was fired. They were like, we're so happy that Antonio Pierce
ass, didn't they? When they won the next
and Antonio Pierce was a terrible head coach. And anyone who had like a right mind thought was like terrible. But when they got rid of Josh McDaniels, they smoked cigars because they thought that was a victory.
Yes.
No one likes Josh McDaniels except for a few people on this station. That's it. There's no one else who likes him. There's no one else.
We should get our own cigars. Bedroll Boy cigars.
What do you mean? I've been smoking that cigar for 3 years. You guys all thought, not you, but I'm listening public. Oh, the Raiders are going to be so good. Unbelievable. Cam and Taunton, the Raiders are going to win 14 games next year. How'd that look, Cam? Oh, yeah. Got 5 wins, fired 2 years in. Guy's a blithering moron. One of the worst NFL coaches in the league. He will not make it past year 2. I do not believe that. He will be fired after his second year with the Patriots. Calling it right now.
I'm watching
They'll
YouTube,
fire him.
And Dan is dancing like this.
Dancing. God, I love dancing on Josh McDaniels' grave. I think, look, I'm sure he's a really nice guy. Maybe. I guess the players hate him. I think he's a nice guy. He's a bad football coach. I don't want him to be my coach of my team. I hope he has a lot of success in his personal life. It's not a personal thing. I just think he's a bad football coach. That's it. That's all it is. I think he sucks. I'm
reading an article from November 5th, 2023 was the date that he was released. And, well, they were definitely smoking something in that locker room.
They couldn't celebrating.
They were dancing. I'm going to tweet this out.
Yep.
The Raiders were smoking victory cigars.
I wasn't kidding. That's a real thing.
Yes.
Do you not remember the Max Crosby interview after he got fired, the first game with Antonio Pierce? Max Crosby was like, it's really nice to have a real football guy in charge again. A guy who actually knows and likes football and treats us like human beings. It was something like absurd. And no one here picked it up. No one. They hate him. Players hate him.
Dude, how do you think Mac Hollins feels? Man, I got to go back to the Patriots.
Brutal.
He did have 1,000 yards.
Do you remember the Denver interviews? Brandon Marshall, what he said about Josh? Everyone hates him. He is not well liked. It's not going to be good in that room. He's not a good football coach.
All right, this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by our good friends over at Premier Basement Waterproofing. Finding water in your basement from last week's nor'easter. Time to get it waterproof so you never have to worry again. Call our guys at Premier, 844-LIVE-DRY or premierbasement.net. It's game over for water. I'm Joe Murray. Dan Lifshatz is here. Final hour, and man, we haven't even crapped on the Red Sox yet. Let's crap next.
Right.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports. A final hour. Whatever you guys want to talk about until 2 o'clock. We're going to get into the Red Sox because the first pitch is 1:35, and they're just lying to us all the time. So we'll get into that in a minute here. Just to recap this Josh McDaniels conversation. It's okay, everybody, to question Josh McDaniels being back. He is a highly decorated offensive coordinator. But when he hasn't been in New England, it's been very bad. Some of the worst. I believe he's one of the only coaches to ever be fired midseason twice.
Yep.
So he's now back. And we don't even know. Some reporters will tell you, but we don't even know if that's who Vrabel wanted.
It's not.
And a report last
I feel pretty
week,
confident about that.
And a report last week tells us they really wanted Thomas Brown.
Yep.
So
by Mike Reese, not Dan Lifshatz, by Mike Reese. Apparently.
So I think it's fair to say Josh McDaniels being here is a question mark for Drake May's sake and the Patriots' sake, and I don't know, everybody on the team, because I just shared a video of the Raiders smoking cigars about how happy they were when Josh McDaniels got fired.
Also, this take keeps coming in from Matt Smith, Dan Lifshatz. Are you a moron? If you think McDaniels going anywhere after 2 years, you're an idiot. He's a great OC, not a head coach. You're that stupid. Keep wasting your money on stupid bets. Well, I've been doing very well in betting, so thank you very much, Matt. I guess that's stupid.
Why can't Matt Smith be open to the idea that it was a risky hire when no one else was interviewing him?
Why is Matt Smith discounting why does all of a sudden Josh McDaniels not being a good head coach have anything to do with running? Why are they two not connected? He is an offensive head coach. He calls the offense. So what? During the game, he's just no longer, calling the offense. Why does being a head coach discount what his offenses did? I'm so confused. That take makes no effing sense.
How about just keep it to what he did as an offensive coordinator, not in New England?
Okay, fine.
How did that go, Dan?
Offensive coordinator, not in New England. He was 32nd in the NFL, the 16th worst offense in history in yards per game.
It's a lot of years in the league, right?
Okay, that was.
If there were 50 Super Bowls,
without here you go.
He was the 16th worst of all time.
I have more for you. Without Tom Brady, ready?
Yes.
Without Tom Brady as an offensive coordinator, without Tom Brady, meaning every quarterback outside of Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels' record is win percentage 232.
Ooh, what would that be in betting?
That's like
2 for 10.
It's
2 or 3
it's slightly
for
better.
10.
It's almost 2.5 for 10. So it's like you won like half your Asian soccer bet. So like 2.5 and 10. Yeah,
he's essentially 2 for 10.
Yeah, he's essentially 2 for 10 as offense coordinator. Here's his yards per game ranking in terms of offensive coordinators who have coached over 100 games. He is worst in NFL history without Tom Brady in yards per game. He is second worst in points per game. Enough about Josh McDaniels being a great offense coordinator. Without Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels is what comes out of my butt on the toilet, okay? That is what Josh McDaniels is. He sucks. Enough. Just call it how it is. And if you want to start discounting what he's done as a head coach, that's on you. That's on you. If you think what his offenses as a head coach all of a sudden don't matter for some other reason because he has to worry about the game plan, he's terrible. He's a top. Matt Smith, seriously, he's a top 5 OC. So him with Mac wasn't good. We already went through the season with Mac.
We said that it was they listen to the show when the listeners aren't listening. My thing is this: don't give me Cam Newton. Don't give me Mac Jones. Dan, I'm going to throw Bill Belichick in there. How has he ever done without Bill Belichick or Tom Brady?
Yeah,
and mostly
232 win percentage.
And mostly everybody has sucked without Tom Brady, but him in particular.
He was not good with Mac Jones. By the way, just let's make that very abundantly clear. He was not good with Mac Jones. The defense was good, and the team around him was okay.
People want to know what's coming out of your butt, Dan. Never mind. Let's talk to Steve.
I think you can all figure that out.
Steve wants to talk about Josh McDaniels. Steve.
Yes, Joe. Good show. I'm kind of disappointed you backpedal, say we have the right to question about. You're not saying Josh McDaniels is, we were questioning it. You're on there saying he sucks.
Yeah, he does suck. I'll say it.
Was he the offensive coordinator of the year that Matt Castle played for Brady?
I'm not aware. I'm not sure actually. 2008. I don't.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he was.
I'll have to look it up.
I think he was.
Yeah, but they didn't make the playoffs. If you want me to really get
they
into
didn't make the playoffs,
but...
and they had faced the easiest schedule in the NFL that year, and they still didn't make the playoffs.
All right. But
they also had. Hold on. Who was their wide receivers that year? Who were their wide receivers?
Randy Moss,
and Wes Welker.
I remember.
Do you remember? They had Randy Moss and Wes Welker. If you couldn't figure out an offense with Randy Moss and Wes Welker as an offense coordinator,
disappointing
seriously,
that they didn't make the playoffs that year. It was very.
They were minus 400 to make the playoffs.
When you lose your starting quarterback, especially like Tom Brady, and he coached. Matt Castle was not a really good quarterback. Yeah. And, because after he left New England, he went to Kansas City.
Well, he was a starter.
So he was kind of responsible. Because he had to, because he was a backup quarterback, and they didn't win.
What are you talking about?
Matt Castle was a starter in the league for the Chiefs.
They traded a second-round pick for Matt Castle.
He was good.
Yeah.
Right, they did. And I don't think that Matt Castle didn't prove himself. He wasn't that good.
He went 10-5 with Kansas City his second year. What are you talking about?
This is a bad point. Matt Castle went.
What are you talking about? Your point sucks. Hang up on this.
No, hang on.
No, your point sucks.
Whoa.
Hang on.
Your point sucks.
That's what they said. Yeah, like I said, to quote Rick Pitino, the negativity around here sucks.
No.
Call it out.
Why? Steve,
why can't you call it how it is?
Can you be objective right now? Who wanted to hire Josh McDaniels this year? Tell me. Give me.
It had to be Rob. You're correct. You had to be Robert Kraft.
Okay, so is there a reason that maybe there's only one team who wants to hire a guy who runs an antiquated offense? Who last time he had 3 All-Pro pass catchers, and they couldn't win 5 or more. They couldn't win more than 5 games. Steve,
I also think it's an indictment.
It's
an indictment that's a problem?
My argument is, I'm just saying that I agree with a lot of things you're saying. He's just not that bad.
Steve, you're arguing about 2008. Steve, stop. Hold on for a second. You're arguing about an offense in 2008. It's 2025. Josh McDaniels' offensive scheme in 2008 was not antiquated. In 2025, football is a very different game. So if you want to go back and say, hey, he was really good in 2008, you know what? Maybe we'll give some credit to Josh McDaniels for what he did in 2008. Then they traded Matt Castle to Kansas City, and he went 10-5 in 2010. He was an All-Pro.
Well, I'll give you that's a good point about 2008 to 2025.
Okay, what he did in 2008 doesn't matter. And I'm sorry, he went in the most recent offense without Tom Brady was Sam Bradford. He ran the 16th worst offense in NFL history. Without Tom Brady in New England, he was at a win percentage under 400. What are we talking about? So one good season all of a sudden, and he's good?
Well, that's the thing. I just think the coaches in New England, in all sports, are taking too much of a beating for these athletes that don't perform.
Steve, what athlete? Okay, so what about
Derek Carr? He went 24-4. They still went 6-9.
He was an All-Pro without Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels comes and they win 5 games with Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Josh Jacobs.
Not to mention Jared Stidham on that team. But go ahead.
What are you talking about, Steve?
All right, let's talk about Derek Carr. He really hasn't been that good since he left Las Vegas either. Well, he didn't. He went to New Orleans and didn't perform.
It was McDaniels that set him back.
He went to. He was an All-Pro. Josh McDaniels went there and ruined him. That's what happened.
I guess I am trying to be open-minded. I really am. I'm trying. And you make some points, yes. But it just seems to me that every time I listen to sports radio now, I just listen and I hear how shitty the.
Okay, all right. Well, okay.
Steve. Well, by the way, just to back on what he said, they all do suck. They all do suck. Sorry, no. You know what's funny about this? Everything was gravy here for years. right? The only thing to complain about was if Tom Brady was going to OTAs or not. There wasn't a lot to complain about. There wasn't. You know, when the Bruins blow it in a playoff every year, that's what we can get on. I'll get on the players for that one. The players, that's on them.
Yeah,
okay. The Celtics this year, on them. You can throw the coach in there if you really want to.
No, it's the
okay.
Coach. Yeah, it was a lot. It was all of them.
It was a team effort.
Team effort. I agree with that.
The Red Sox have been bad for 5 years, and they're not getting better. So I don't know what I can do for my job to be positive. Okay, I want the Patriots to be better, but all this hype about over 8.5 and they're going to be great, and those. I would like to be objective of how many hurdles they have to get over this year, and I don't think anyone talks about it, and I'm glad that Dan's here to back me up.
Okay. Matt Smith, you want about this?
Matt Smith.
I bet you a steak dinner at your choice of the Pats will have a top 15 offense with Josh.
Ooh,
done.
Done,
where? Matt.
Where were
done.
You thinking?
Done. Rare.
Do they make a T-bone?
Oh, yes, they do. They make a done. Matt.
Tomahawk.
Done.
Sorry,
They make a tomahawk. Yep.
All right, here we go.
Done.
By the way, I would just like to state for the record that bringing up Matt Castle's an indictment on Josh McDaniels. The fact that he could go elsewhere and be good, but he could only be good with Josh McDaniels.
They had
great with him.
They had Wes Welker and Randy Moss. Like, what are we talking about? They were the greatest show on turf in 2007. All of a sudden, the Patriots, who went undefeated the year before with Tom Brady, that doesn't matter. You bring in Matt Castle.
Yeah, they put in a backup quarterback in and went 11-5, didn't make the playoffs, but he ended up being a good quarterback the rest of his career, or at least decent. I don't know. I just think it's an indictment on.
He went 10-5 his second year with Kansas City. He was the starter there. 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Matt is.
By the way, they went 10-5 with Castle.
Hey, Matt.
Well, I mean, Dan just said it. They were undefeated in 2007.
Yeah.
Like, that is the dumbest argument. Felker uses that year all the time. The team had the same exact team. Joe, you could have gone in there and gone 5 wins. I hate that argument. That's all I needed to say. Thank you.
I agree. It's the stupidest argument in sports. I hear it all the time why Josh McDaniels is so good. Guys, just look at the facts. Look at what he's done without Tom Brady. Forget about everything else. Take a look at what he's done without Tom Brady. He's been bad. That's it. There is nothing else you need to know. He has been bad. Yards per game, the worst offense coordinator with over 100 games played, 100 games coached. The yards per game is the worst in the NFL history. That's literally the worst in history. Like, what do you mean? Why are we doing this again? Mm-hmm. So, yes, if I think the Patriots are going to go under because I do not trust Josh McDaniels, I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Wes Welker had 111 receptions that year. Randy Moss had 11 touchdowns. Kevin Falk had almost 60 catches. Ben Watson was on that. They were a pretty decent team.
They were really good the year before. It was. I mean, it's not the same team, but it was very similar. And offensively, they were almost the exact same. Like, I mean,
do you think he'll still wear a visor?
Of course he will. I mean, look, I don't care about anything personally about Josh. Like, I don't know the guy. I don't, the players don't like him. I don't care. Like, he may be a really good dude who just doesn't connect with NFL players. That's very possible. But as a coach, he's just not good. And I think we're going to see that again this year.
Well, to the guy that said every time he listens to us and all we do is bash the teams, be good. Then we won't bash you.
And by the way, I'll say this. I didn't bash the Celtics all year this year. I didn't bash them at all year this year. I took my L last year. I was wrong. They won the title last year. No asterisk at all. I don't care. They had an easy path. No asterisk. They won the title. They deserved it. They were the best team last year. This year, they were the favorite to win the NBA title. They didn't win it.
I agree.
The coaching is a big reason why.
They weren't special after all.
The Red Sox manager this year, they are one of the best teams in pitching ERA and just in general in the first 5 innings. They are a top 5 team in F5 record in the MLB, which means first 5, okay? They're one of the best records in MLB in first 5. After that, after the first 5 innings, they're one of the worst. Where do you think that comes in? Management of the bullpen, management of the lineup, how you do all that stuff. That's on the manager. I mean, there's a reason that people are dumping on these guys. It's because they're not good. The Bruins head coach, okay? They got rid of, he was a player's head coach. you're going to be quiet during this one. The Bruins coach. I mean, seriously, they got rid of a guy. He went on to win the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry.
No, Dan, you mean to tell me the Bruins got rid of a coach who won a Stanley Cup, and then a coach who went to the playoffs, and then a player who's now playing in the Stanley Cup, and then another player in Trent Frederick who's in the Stanley Cup? So that you mean to tell me that the guys who leave the Bruins actually are successful?
It does seem that way.
Oh.
Maybe the general manager isn't very good. Maybe the president of the team isn't as good as we thought.
Did you see Jeremy Swayman just went 7-0? Did you see that?
I
revived his career?
Yeah, look, maybe, it's just maybe that we right now don't have some of the best coaches or managers here. That's a possibility. That's all it might be. And by the way, I want all these teams to win every single year. I'd rather lose money betting them every single year. But you know what? It is what it is. I don't know what you want. That's part of the deal.
Also, if you don't like that we complain, or sorry, if this is called complaining, well, you can listen to other things.
No, don't listen to other things. Just call me and tell me what we're wrong.
Well, I like you because they are telling us we're wrong.
Oh, I know. And then using 2008 is not a good example.
It's like the Bruins are still using the 2015 draft.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here? All right, we'll go to break. We were late. Sorry.
Again.
Red Sox talk next.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Red Sox are about to get going here, Dan. So, I'll get two takes out, and I want to hear your opinion on them. Number one is they won on Friday night. They had a lead. They built the lead. They closed it out. Like, I was surprised after just losing multiple. They've lost, 5 of their last 6. They've lost a lot of these games in extra innings or late. And you brought up the point earlier that they're so good early on, it's the end of the game, and that's all coaching and management and all that stuff.
Yep.
But then it gets mentioned during the first pitch on Friday night. And it's, Craig Breslow talks to the media, and the report was Rafael Devers will probably not play the field this year. Which strikes a lot of people like, what do you mean, Devers? And I don't know, Dan. I'm like on Team Devers here. I understand that he's not being a good teammate. So I'll get that right out of the way.
Okay.
Like, you ask someone to move positions, you move. You just do it, right? You're an athlete, you're a competitor, you do it. And there's a lot of young players in that locker room that are just moving positions and doing it because they're trying to make the team and whatever.
Yep.
Why won't the manager talk to Devers about moving? I talked to Mike Timlin a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, is it weird that the GM's talking to the player about moving? He said, no. He said, it's almost customary. So I think there is some sort of relationship or a divide in the relationship of Cora and Devers. And I wonder if it's something to do with Bregman. Like, hey, that was his guy. Now he's taking his position and you do this. My only thing is I'm actually Team Devers for another reason. There is no culture. None of these guys are trying to be there to win games. So it's almost like, here's what's coming next. These young kids, he just got his extension. Like, Devers is almost looking at it as, well, if we're not going to be competitive, I got to worry about myself. And I know people don't want to hear this, but like, we do this in our own jobs every day. When someone asks you to do more and not get paid more, that sucks. I just think he's a DH right now. He batted .373 in the month of May, had 9 home runs and 41 RBI. You know, no other American League player has done that besides Miguel Cabrera. And the last Red Sox to do it was Nomar in '99. This guy's putting up numbers that haven't been done in 25 years. So they're really kind of screwed as they need him. They're not going to get what they want if they want to trade him. But why isn't the manager able to go and talk to him about this? And in a way, I feel like he's waiting for that. He wants the manager to say, and he won't do it. And this is what I mean about managing. Cora is managing everything but wins on the field.
Yeah, so I don't have a super strong take on this one. I see from both sides. Like, I understand the Devers side. I understand not wanting to do this. I understand feeling like, okay, well, you guys, I'm their third baseman. You guys pay me to be a third baseman. And then 2 years later, you guys decide I'm no longer your third baseman. So I'm annoyed at that. I also see from the Red Sox side, we're paying you $1 bajillion a year, dude. Like, you're the highest paid player in the team history. Just shut up and do what we want. And I kind of see it from both sides. And it is frustrating. I think the relationship with the player is just fractured beyond belief. So I think now you have to make a decision. One, I think you do one of two things. One, can trade Devers, which I preferably do not want to do. Number two, I think you bring in a manager that maybe Devers would like. So maybe I after the season, I'm dead serious. I think moving on from Alex Cora, you have to do it. I think Alex Cora has been terrible this year. That's the reality.
So the report yesterday, Chris Cotillo talked to Breslow, and Breslow said, "No, we're 100%. We're 100% committed to Cora," which I sometimes hear as kiss of death.
Yep, that's 100% what I do too. Whenever someone says, "Oh, we're committed to him," that basically means okay, he's.
But done. I don't think Cora's. By the way, if Cora was on a winning team, I think he could manage everybody. Like, I think he can do it. Bill Sparrows brought this up the other night. I give him a shout out, bookies.com, Harold. He mentions that since the pitch clock has been instituted, Cora has been one of the worst managers in baseball. And maybe the sign stealing thing was real.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I'll also say this. I think that it could also have something to do with the roster. I think
the roster's bad. The roster's bad.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't think the roster's bad. I think the roster is pretty decent.
Underperforming?
But I think that the bullpen is bad. And I think that it's been managed very poorly. So I think you can argue that two ways. Obviously, Durant hasn't been nearly as good as he was last year, although he's certainly picked it up. I think you could argue that, outside of Devers and I guess maybe Durant, pretty much everyone's underperformed. Like, all I heard was how good Christian Campbell was. And I think I'm going to be wrong on Christian Campbell, but I didn't really think the bat was quite ready yet. I actually thought his defense was okay. His defense at the major league level, clearly not, because they keep moving him to 45 different positions and whatever. And obviously you can't, field 45 different positions. But the bat hasn't been good. The bat was terrible in May. It just was. Because what happens, it's kind of like the same thing as a quarterback, Joe. Like, you get film on the guy, and you know what he's bad at, right? So when you get a month, basically a month sample size of, okay, here's Christian Campbell's month sample size. Here's where he's hitting well. Here's where he's not. He can hit X pitch, X place, because it's different in AAA and in Major League. The arms are very different. So I think now you kind of see, okay, well, can Campbell adjust now? Can Campbell adjust to, teams knowing what he's bad at? Now you have a 60-game sample of, okay, here's what he's good at, here's what he's bad at. Speaking of Devers, I thought that was gone.
Smashed it, though.
I thought that was gone. It was a rocket. So look, here's the thing. Devers is the best player on the team, in my opinion. I don't think it's very close.
He by the way, on all this, if we're going to call this adversity, he's hot.
Yeah. I forget about it. He's the best player on the team. It just is what it is.
I think him and Bregman are really the only high talent they have.
I think that you can do one of two things. Again, you can trade him, which I don't want to do, or you can figure this out in the offseason and repair the relationship with him. And if I'm the Red Sox, considering no one wants to come here, and you don't want to spend money, and you've already committed money to him, I would repair the relationship. Meaning, I don't care about Alex Cora. Sorry, I don't care about Alex Cora.
In a way, though, Dan, I agree with you. Yeah. Like you have a great player, you have to build around him, right?
Right.
This is just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. I think their culture in there, they have no leaders.
I agree.
I
think Bregman is a leader, but I think you put him in a situation where he can't lead.
And he has the opt-out, too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
he might look at it and be
point.
like, oh, jeez, man. He bought all those guys suits, by the way, because they're all getting brought up now. And that's leadership.
Yep. But the problem is, if Devers doesn't respect Cora, he's definitely not going to respect Bregman, because he's basically an extension of him.
I thought this was So I'm torn on this one. I thought that this would be a really good time for Devers to become a leader or a captain. He's certainly doing it on the field. You can't. What can you say about him on the field that's bad?
Nothing.
Besides, he's not playing the field. You know what I mean? That's really the only thing you can say about him. So, in a way, is he leading by example? Is this leadership that he's...
Yes and no.
That's what I mean. So, I think there's just a huge culture issue. And if he's not... I would talk to him. Hey, man, do you want to be a DH forever? Because if that's the case, we're going to build around you. If not, you got to take what you can get. You have to change the culture in that room. I think there's too many young players in that room that not have leadership.
Just move. I just move in the first. Just move in the first. Say, hey, in the offseason,
can we have Cora do it and then fire him? Cora, can you go? Why is Cora afraid to talk to him?
Obviously, because it's very clear. I mean, no one wants to talk about it, but it's very clear. Cora wanted Bregman. I think we all know that. Bregman plays third. Devers wanted to play third. So because of that happening, obviously the relationship is gone.
All right, I
think that's obvious.
I got one more thing.
Yep.
Because when we probably go to break, when the Braves will be up, Garrett Crochet likes to throw first pitch fastball. Gave up first pitch fastball home run last week.
Sure.
I have the numbers for today.
Got
Ronald Acuna.
Yep.
Minus 135, take first pitch or swung or foul. Minus 135. A ball or hit by pitch, plus 150. Any other outcome, plus 950. Would you bet it?
No, probably not.
He's not going to change, Dan.
No, he's not. Dude, he's an ace. I'm okay with him doing that. If he has one batter.
What would you bet on this one, by the way? Ooh, see, Devers. Oh, Devers would have had it. I would have held him, too.
It would have been close.
I know.
Honestly, I would probably bet, if I had to, I'd probably bet, any other result, because
you can get a single plus 2,900, and you can get extra base hit besides a home run plus 3,500.
Yeah, I'd probably bet a single 2,900.
I think Acuna home run's the way to go today. Plus 550 at the moment.
For the whole game?
Yeah, the whole game.
Nah, I don't like it. I'd rather honestly think there's better value on his first at bat.
Do you think he's going to throw a first pitch strike?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it'll probably be a fastball.
We'll find out on the other side here.
Okay.
Take a quick break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston EV.
Here 98.5, the Sports Up final segment. I believe Matt McCarthy's here.
Ooh.
He's up next. All right, well, let's knock these out before we leave, Dan, unless you got a final word you'd like to.
No.
All right. Tommy's in lane. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Joe? What's up, Dan? Dan, I agree with what you have been saying about Josh McDaniels, but here's my little say. It's put up or shut up with him because, yes, I understand what you were saying. He had Brady to cover him up all those years when he was here for an OC, and he wasn't a good coach where he went, right, to Vegas, to Denver. So he gotta do good this year. This is a big year for Drake May, his second year with Diggs and all these wide receivers that really ain't good. We need these wide receivers to jump this year. And I got a freestyle for you guys. Let's go.
Oh, hit it, Tommy.
All right. Hey, yo, it's Tommy from Lynn. Josh McDaniels, you better do good because if you don't, you're going to be working at McDonald's. You're going to be working on the grill flipping burgers. I'm going to hit a home run like Trevor Story just did and then tell you guys a little story. Hey!
The name is Josh McDaniels. I got to win games before Lifshatz going to name names.
Oh, drop names.
No, the best ever was we were talking about Linus Allmark, and he goes, Almamar. And dude, we lost it. We lost it. By the way, the first pitch of the game was a foul for a fastball.
There you go.
Acuna was on it though.
He was. It was actually early on it.
So that would have been
He pulled it. It was early.
That would have been minus 135. Let me just double check on that one.
Worth the single shot.
First pitch foul, minus 135. So opponents now 6 for 13 with 2 home runs on the first pitch.
Interesting.
So we got. I think every start now for Crochet, I have to do this.
Okay, I think you should.
What could we call it? The Cropay?
Ooh, the Cropay.
The Crochet Parlay?
Let me workshop it.
No, it's
Let me workshop it.
There's the Wrangle, and then there's the the Krangle.
We did come up with the Krangle. Yeah, this is a little different. The Crochangle.
I like that. All right, let's get back to the phones here. How about Michael in the car?
Hey, guys. It's great to hear you together. Again, Dan, you're sorely missed on Saturday mornings. Quick question on NBA Finals rebounds leader. I think right now what I've seen is Holmgren minus 130, Hartenstein plus 550. I think it's going to be somebody on OKC. And, Dan, I just wanted to get your take on Hartenstein. His minutes have greatly decreased the last 3 games. Wondering if you still see OKC staying small with the small lineup versus Indiana. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so I think that was obviously matchup dependent because when the Wolves went with a small lineup, you didn't want Hartenstein in there. You didn't want it. You wanted him to bang with Gobert, but because of the way that Minnesota played those games, they actually took Gobert out a lot because he was super ineffective. So they did, that was the OKC counter to that move. So I don't think that will be the case in the series. I think it's going to be, again, probably more back to the traditional starting 5 there. Again, they have Caruso. They can go small. If Indiana wants to do it, they can always counter with that move, which is why I think Caruso was such a big addition for them.
I'd go Chet to answer that question. I think Chet is going to space a little bit more, and him and Harden. I think it comes right down to both. I'd probably go Chet.
I'd actually probably go someone on Indiana, to be honest with you. I think it's probably going to be someone, again, Edwards was the rebound leader in the last series. I think he was like 25 to 1. So I'd actually be looking for a ball aggressive, someone like that. I would obviously say Halliburton, but I mean, maybe a Siakam would be certainly of interest. I know Siakam's not a big rebounds guy.
So Chet averaged 8.6. Siakam 5.8.
Yeah, again, Siakam not a big rebound guy, but I'm just
Halliburton's a big rebound guy. Can you believe that?
He is. There you go. That's a ding dong. That's Ozuna. Maybe a small bit on Halliburton there. I like to go for upside in these certain situations. So ball dominant rebounding guards end up doing very well against OKC in terms of rebounding. Edwards is a good example of that.
So who hit that home run?
Ozuna.
No, Acuna?
Ozuna.
Ozuna.
Yeah.
All
Marcel Ozuna.
I thought it was Acuna.
No, Acuna did not hit home run. He struck out, I think.
All right, Dan, anything else today?
Nothing. I beat about a WNBA bet last night, -4. It's now currently -5. I have another one, but unfortunately the number kind of got away during the show. It went from 9.5 to 11.5, so I won't give that out. But maybe I'll give out something second half on Twitter today. But that's it for me. It was a fun Sunday show. Dumping on Josh. What else did we do? We talked about a lot of stuff today.
Do you know that dude Ozuna's hit 11 home runs in 24 games against the Red Sox?
He owns the Red Sox. He's a Red Sox color. He owns them.
Crochet threw that first pitch fastball.
He did.
-135 today was the outcome on that one. So, all right, well, that's it for us then.
That's it.
I don't know when you're back, Dan.
Neither do I. I'm back when they tell me I'm back.
Well, I'm here on Sundays, so you're always welcome, Dan.
Appreciate you.
Matt McCarthy's coming up next. You want to do a crossover with us, sir?
Of course I want to do a crossover with you guys. Lifshatz,
How
you
are
want to
you?
stick around for the next 3 hours? I mean,
Do
Joe,
I?
too?
No.
I don't. Listen, that first pitch strike thing, we were betting on it.
Yeah.
And it was
go down.
a foul ball, which was -135.
That's a strike right there.
But
Last time I checked.
-135 is good. I mean, I know it's vague, but
Good value.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're going to be swinging. They know what it is. It's the pitch. It's an easy. Why wouldn't you swing on that?
-135 feels like a steal on that.
I wanted a single. What was the single again? It was like
was like 1,800.
yeah, it was like 18-1.
Home run was
I'll take
3,900.
I'll take a single shot on a pitch that you immediately know.
Sure,
up front.
yeah.
18-1.
$3,900. I'd put a buck on that. Why not?
I know. That's why I said to Dan.
Pays for some bonchon for the big guy.
So are you going to talk wrestling? I mean, not wrestling.
No. I'm going to tell you right now, Joe. No.
Red Sox.
We'll get into the Red Sox later on. What are we going to talk about for the next 3 hours? It's June 1st. The Celtics are out. The Bruins are irrelevant. The Patriots are 2 months away from training camp, and the Red Sox are increasingly not enjoyable by the day. Who's to say what we'll talk about for the next 3 hours?
And it's 60 degrees outside. This sucks. Why is it's June and it's 60? I'm still mad about that.
Do you know what Dan did a blowtorch on today?
Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
Oh, it was great. It was tremendous. Good for you, Dan.
And people actually want to defend Josh McDaniels.
I know they do.
The 11-12 wins thing from the midday show, like, these guys would lose all their money if they were asked to professionally bet. I swear to God, they'd be bankrupt in like 3 days.
I think
the most absurd takes I've ever. I love them, but holy hell, guys!
Only one dunk today, too.
I might just replay
Wasn't me.
Lifshatz rant.
You might as well.
Kick my feet up.
It was 20 minutes of pure fire.
I know.
I there's nothing that gets me going on a Sunday like dumping on Josh McDaniels.
We also did Streaming Really Sucks in a different way. Someone called me a boomer.
I'm going back to cable.
What did I tell you?
I'm very excited about it.
Don't cut the cord. It's useless. Just pay the extra $100. Keep the cable.
Can't wait for it. Got a brand new TV.
Yep.
I need the cable to go with it.
Dude,
that's what I need.
It's the best. It's just you can flip towards 400 different games.
God, I've missed it.
I love it. I love paying for it. I don't care. I'll pay for it.
Has anybody ever called you a boomer before?
Yeah, all the time. I'm definitely an old man.
He's an old soul.
All right, well.
He's an old soul. He loves baseball. Come on.
It insulted me. I am open to change.
You are definitely a Gen Xer.
You are not a boomer. There's a lot of.
I'm a first-year millennial, but yes, I'm a Gen Xer.
You're with us?
I'm a first-year millennial.
I'm happy about that.
But I think I'm old school. But I am open to change.
Not as
and
old
like
school as
Rocky
me,
always said, if I can change,
you can change.
We can all change. We got to go. Jeff Williams, thank you. Lifshatz,
sure you
thank
don't want to
you.
stick around?
Thanks, Jeff.
No, Matt McCarthy's got you for the rest.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Find premium protein at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on no antibiotics ever organic air-chilled bone-in chicken drumsticks, thighs, or whole legs with Prime through June 3rd. It's the perfect entree for summer grilling. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
At National Grid, we know home is where you feel your best. That's why we're dedicated to making your home comfortable and energy efficient year-round. With a home energy assessment, you can learn how your home uses energy and receive a custom report with helpful recommendations. You can also learn about energy-saving solutions such as insulation, air sealing, and more. If you're ready to save energy at home, we'll be there for you every step of the way. Visit ngrid.com/assessment or call 866-527-SAVE to learn more. National Grid is a proud sponsor of Mass Save.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal está? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting...